How the restructuring will affect the media giant's jobs here in Atlanta. Emergency repairs continue on Buford Spring Connector and could impact your morning drive. It might already have. One lane is open, but work continues to repair a crack on the on-ramp to I-85 north from the connector. Erie Mickle tells Channel 2 Action News she is just dreading her commute.
Monday mornings are so hectic, and I know it's just going to be worse now.
Drivers should take a Cheshire Bridge or 7585 to get to 85 north. The Georgia Department of Transportation says there is progress being made on the crack, but no word as yet when those repairs will be complete. The National Kids Count Survey has some disappointing results for Georgia kids. Georgia ranks 32nd overall on how children here are doing.
The number of young kids not in school in Georgia has increased, and when it comes to reading and math in our state,
fourth graders not proficient in reading increased from 68% to 70%, and eighth graders not proficient in math increased from 69% to 76%.
The report's Michael Cassidy says on the positive side, more kids are graduating high school on time and fewer children are living in poverty in our state. Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Gwinnett County reactivates select school zone speed cameras today as summer classes begin across the county. 10 of the district's 13 schools with cameras will resume sending out violations as the county works to reduce dangerous speeding. Well, Apple is set to unveil a range of software improvements as its Worldwide Developer Conference kicks off today.
Apple's in a really interesting spot right now. It's been criticized for its AI efforts with Apple Intelligence, which didn't deliver on all of the promises the company made. So now it's going to try standing out from competitors.
Ian Scher reports Apple is expected to announce a significant redesign of the software on its phones, tablets, and Mac computers, modernizing the look and the feel. Lilo and Stitch is still making big waves at the box office.
He's so cute and fluffy.
He is your responsibility. Got it.
We promise.
Yeah.
The Disney film takes the #1 spot for the third straight week, earning just over $32 million over the weekend. It's now made over $770 million globally and is on track to become the year's first billion-dollar release. It's 9:03. The Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. First, though, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Triple Team Traffic begins with Smile and Mark McKay.
Cheryl, travel advisory rolling into Woodstock. Only a right lane open, 575 southbound. Crash at Highway 92, exit 7. Really has you on the brakes at Ridgewalk Parkway, so consider using Highway 5. Peach Pass holders, the express lanes working well as you head toward Kennesaw this morning. 400 still stacked up in spots as you leave Alpharetta into Roswell. That's thinning out. So is the ride down I-85. Worst of that's going to be around Pleasant Hill Road. And travel advisory on the West Freeway, although it looks like now, live look at the jam cam, they may have reopened the ramp from 20 West to 285 South. That was a vehicle fire cleanup. Nope, the cones are still in place, so you'll have to continue out to Fulton Industrial Boulevard or exit inside the perimeter at Holmes Drive. Watching 285 in trouble there, Ashley Frasca.
A crash in the far right lane at the end of the ramps as I-75 dumps onto 285 eastbound there in Cobb County. A little slow getting over to New Northside Powers Ferry. Some sluggish stuff begins back around South Cobb Drive and tapping the brakes through I-85 along the outer loop 285 west toward Dunwoody. And a little bit of slowing now, maybe new trouble 285 south around Chamblee Tucker. Triple Team Traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly to mostly cloudy through the afternoon with widespread rain showers and thunderstorms, some of which may be strong to severe with damaging wind gusts, could knock down trees and power lines. Today's high is 83. The storms fizzle out around midnight, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 84.
And right now, checking some temperatures for you. You're at 73 degrees in Woodstock, 72 in Suwanee, Lawrenceville, 73. We'll have more news coming up at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Good Monday morning, friends. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Mark Arum and crew for the next 3 hours, taking you all across the globe, making sure you're informed on all the big stories. Full disclosure, I tried to make this a restful weekend. I kind of unplugged from social media, didn't listen to news, didn't watch the news. So I was kind of stunned that what was going on in L.A. I kind of peeked onto social media last night. I was like, oh, my goodness, what the heck is going on in L.A.? We're going to go live to L.A. after the news at 9:35. John Baird from KNX News out in L.A. is going to join us live. Obviously, I had no idea, Deborah, that LA was on fire over this weekend. I totally unplugged. I'm like, I need to rest. I slept in. And of course, last night I couldn't fall asleep till after midnight because Sunday nights are just the roughest, for morning folks like us to if I sleep in Sunday morning, forget about it. I'm up till midnight Sunday night, and that's what happened yesterday. But I'm fully charged up. Again, we're going to go to L.A. Live. In case you were unplugged like I was, major immigrant protests in L.A. turning violent. CNN's Julia Vargas Jones was out on the streets of L.A. last hour reporting on what she sees now.
A heightened police presence. We've also seen some National Guard here behind me. Look, we are just steps from the 101 freeway, the highway that was temporarily blocked by protesters yesterday. That is now open, but a lot of the entrances and exits to the highway, as well as some downtown streets, are still closed. And all night we heard and saw the LAPD helicopters patrolling the central parts of Los Angeles. Just until a few hours ago, this scene was still active with protesters. And they were so angered by these immigration sweeps. That's what brought so many people to the streets, some to protest peacefully, but some that ended up participating in those acts of depredation and of violence that we've been seeing and that have been causing those shocking, stunning scenes over the last few days. I want to play for you a soundbite from the chief of police of Los Angeles talking about just how bad things got.
What we saw the first night was bad. What we've seen subsequent to that is getting increasingly worse and more violent. Tonight we had individuals out there shooting commercial-grade fireworks at our officers. That can kill you. And we have adapted our tactics to be able to have a chance to be able to take these people into custody and to be able to hold them accountable.
And Sarah, you know this, but this situation escalated so quickly. It wasn't a protest movement that had been escalating for weeks or even really days. It all erupted on Friday, and then Saturday it was heightened by the announcement of the deployment of the National Guard. We were here in downtown LA when that announcement came out, and we saw the reaction of the crowd then. We have heard also from Mayor Karen Bass. She called this, she called the deployment of the National Guard, she said, intentional chaos. She said she blamed the president for this escalation. And now we're hearing from Governor Gavin Newsom, who's saying that this is not just adding fuel to the flames, that he's also planning to sue the federal government over that deployment.
So a lot of moving parts. And we've seen this a lot in protests. They'll start out peacefully during the daytime. And then when the sun sets, it gets violent. Some of those Waymo cars, Deborah, those self-driving cars, set on fire, looting, just nasty stuff. But the beyond that, the issue of the protests turning violent, et cetera, was you heard Julia Vargas Jones there say that President Trump called in the National Guard. First time in 60 years that the president has called in the National Guard without the request or permission of the governor of any state. So there's some questions about that. And to take it a step further, apparently President Trump wants to send Marines into L.A., getting a lot of pushback from the Democratic governor and the Democratic mayor of L.A. on that. Is that making things worse, getting U.S. troops on the ground, which is usually a big no-no. National Guard can be sent in if requested, but having Marines on the scene, like active troops on the scene, to some is a bridge too far. Again, we're going to go live to L.A. John Baird from KNX is going to join us. He has been on the streets overnight. I didn't even hear, I've got some of my three best friends that live out in L.A. I didn't even hear from them. I don't know if this is just a downtown LA issue or if it's the greater LA County issue. But normally, if there's big stuff like that, like the wildfires, right? I heard from all my friends during the wildfires, or if there's an earthquake. But I haven't heard boo from any of my friends out in LA. So I don't know if this is just a small problem, but obviously a big problem. You heard there from the sheriff's department. We're going to hear from the LA chief of police. A lot of the law enforcement folk there saying there's one cut I'm going to play for you in a little bit. I think it's the L.A. chief of police saying, we're used to protests in L.A., right? You think about, heck, when the Lakers win a championship, like the streets go caught on fire? Do you think, going back to the Rodney King protests, like they are familiar with this kind of activity? And he says, it started out peacefully where there was no problems, and then you get a certain element that comes in that tries to take advantage of the situation, and that's when you get the looting and the burning, and it's a nasty situation going on right now. But we'll keep you up to date on that and what the Trump administration's response is. You heard at the end of the piece, Julia Vargas Jones says the governor is going to file suit. I don't know what the grounds on that is, but we'll check. We'll go to the White House a little bit later on as well. And get the political backlash on this. Again, all centering around immigration. Speaking of immigration, Abrego Garcia now back in the United States. Coming up on the show, Stephen Portnoy is going to bring us up to speed on that. That kind of broke when we got off the air on Friday. The El Salvadorian that was deported to El Salvador, the Supreme Court said, hey, you got to expedite his return. You've got to facilitate his return. Excuse me. The Trump administration said no, never. The president of El Salvador said no, never. But he's now back in the United States. So there's a lot of moving parts on that as well. I so unplugged out of the story, out of the news this weekend. And I apologize. I just needed a breather. Man, with everything with Elon Musk and Donald Trump and Ukraine and Russia, I was like, I can't. I can't this weekend. I need some me time. I didn't even know about this Las Vegas shooting, Deborah, which crazy because the World Series of Poker is ongoing right now. So I've got a lot of friends out there playing in the World Series of Poker. What can you tell us about this Las Vegas shooting?
Well, this happened while we were sleeping because I woke up and read this headline. So you didn't really miss it because it kind of happened when we were both out of it. But yeah, there's a manhunt going on right now in Vegas because 2 people were shot and killed kind of near the Bellagio fountains in that area.
Okay.
Yeah, police said that there was gunfire in that strip area late last night. So 10:40, which is midnight for us, right? And they went out there. They saw people with gunshot wounds. Both of those victims did die. First responders weren't able to save them. But they believe this all started with some social media beef.
Oh,
there was some back and forth. They met in the strip. And now, so they're still looking for the gunman. They're out looking in a manhunt.
Now, not to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy for a second. Back in my day, when the mob ran Vegas, that would not have happened. Right, the mobster. We all know that, right? The mob controlled Vegas. You've seen The Godfather, et cetera, et cetera. That you wouldn't do that. You would not shoot outside of the Bellagio, which is like one of the biggest tourist attractions, right? The fountains at Bellagio. You know them from Ocean's 11. That scene at the end. That's crazy. Vinny pulled some audio. Vinny, you get this off social media? Someone you follow out in Vegas or something? Where'd you find this audio?
The person was live. The man that got shot was on live.
So this is totally a social media thing.
It's totally a social media.
Good grief.
He's a YouTuber.
Oh, good job, Vin. Good job with the bleed machine, Vin. All right, so that happened overnight, shooting in Las Vegas. Again, all my poker buddies are still sleeping, but hopefully they're all okay. So a couple of big, violent stories that we are monitoring here. Coming close to home, we've talked about this, Deborah, in the past. Keep getting these scam texts from like Peach Pass. Hey, your Peach Pass is overdue. You're going to risk losing your license. Wire me money. Whatever. We've all gotten, at least in the station. Like I've gotten like 5 of them. Everyone seems to be getting them. But this is not a scam. I'm just saying it right now. There's going to be a Peach Pass waiver. So if you have used the Peach Pass when you didn't have it, or you had the Peach Pass at a different car, or you didn't have enough funds or something, and you're getting a ticket, the state Toll and Road Authority, Road and Toll Authority, they're giving a grace period, a waiver for folks that might be in arrears when it comes to this.
Yeah, they're calling it Peach Pass Amnesty. So if you use the express lanes, you didn't have the transponder, and you were given fees or any of the things that you just described, they're going to allow you to pay just that fee, not the stuff on top of it. So you have until June 3rd. Yeah, you still have to pay, right? You still used it, but normally you would have to pay that along with a bunch of other fees on top of it. So they're going to waive those fees, just let you pay that amount that you owe. You have until the end of June to do it, and you can pay by mail. You got a ticket in the mail and it says, hey, mail it here, or you can call a phone number. But they do say, do not believe a text. If you get a text that says
you owe this.
Yeah,
do
yeah.
not click on it. Do not pay anything over text. They'll never do that. So by mail or by phone, those are the only two ways you can pay.
So all you scofflaws that haven't paid your peach, I'm not looking at anyone in particular, Andrew.
It's under Leslie's account. It gets paid every month. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I love that Peach Pass. I really do. But you got to change. You still have to pay the fine, but you don't have to pay the subsequent violations or whatever, et cetera. Actually, Deborah, while I have you, this is kind of related to that. So someone who used to live at my house, my new house, keeps getting mail. They keep getting tickets from the city of Decatur. Like City of Decatur, I'm going to say John Doe's his name. I'm not going to put his name out there. And then he got something from like the Georgia Department of Driver Services, which I'm assuming say, hey, you've just lost your license. Like you have all these unpaid speeding tickets or red light camera tickets. And with Maya, to her credit, keeps writing on every time we get a ticket, not at this address,
right?
So it sends it back, but they keep sending them. What do I do? Do I try to like search this guy's name on social media and be like, hey, John Doe, you keep getting all these. He didn't leave a forwarding address or anything. What does a law-abiding citizen like me do in that situation?
The only time that's ever happened, I never got like a ton of stuff, but whenever I would get mail from the previous owner, I just had to wait for the the mail carrier, and I would tell them like, hey, this keeps coming here. I don't know if you get a chance to do that, if you know what time the mail comes by.
I do.
And they seem to take care of it after that. But like the first couple months we were in our last house, that's kind of what we had to do. We kept getting a bunch of stuff. Like, these people aren't here anymore. I don't know if they didn't change their address or they didn't forward it, but that was the only thing that I could do.
I don't want this dude winding up in jail. You know,
maybe he's running from something.
Maybe he's one of those Arkansas jail escapees who, by the way, are all captured. All right. So, again, we're going to go live to L.A. after the news at 9:30. Check out the non-peaceful protests that are going on there regarding the immigration sweeps. Eric Erickson's going to join us live at 10:35, talking all things politics with him. When we come back, though, massive retaliation. We knew it was coming between Russia and Ukraine. Russia launching over 470 drones at Ukraine. We'll get the latest from Kyiv after we check traffic on this Monday morning. Live with the latest, here's Mike Shields.
Hey, good morning, Mark, and much better news now in Woodstock, 575 southbound, right at Highway 92. We've been watching a crash that was in a left lane. As I speak, they just pulled away. All lanes reopened, but damage done. Slow as you leave 6's Road, exit 11. Also getting slow as you make your way into DeKalb County and the Stonecrest. I-20 eastbound past Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68, right lane roadwork setting up. This report is brought to you by Extreme Experience. Give Dad the ultimate driving experience in a Ferrari, Lamborghini, or Porsche on a real racetrack. Extreme Experience is Selena's Motorsports Park, July 10th through the 13th. Save 25% for Father's Day. ExtremeExperience.com. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic hits.
I-75 completely shut down north and south between McDonough and Locust Grove.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Brake lights fill in on 316 westbound at Sugarloaf Parkway.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Heavy police fire department activity.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews for My Roofer FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it in the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
Can you remember the last time you turned on the shower and all you got was cold water? Hopefully you don't have a fresh memory of that. Hey, it's Mark Aram. I want you to check out my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Great new deal on a new water heater. Check it out, guys. Only $29.99 a month and no payments for 3 whole months. No credit check and an unbeatable lifetime warranty. Or you want to go tankless? It's only $59.99 a month and you can enjoy endless hot water. Think about those long, hot showers in the cold, cold winter. Their new water heater installations come with their 100% satisfaction guarantee, same-day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. And with their Comfort as a Service program, you get lifetime repair and maintenance, no additional charges ever, no money down, and just easy monthly payments. So new water heater, $29.99 a month, or tankless, $59.99 a month. Amazing deal, amazing hot water, amazing service. Go online to reliableair.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
We are here with CFP and investment advisor Aaron Vincent of the Vincent Financial Group and host of Retire ATL. And Aaron, you mentioned that taxes are on sale. What exactly does that mean? And is it something we need to take advantage of right now?
Yeah, Mark, it may not feel like it right now, especially this time of year. But when you look at history, we are actually in historically low income tax rates time. If you look back, tax rates have been significantly higher. And when you look at the national debt, which most reference at around $36 trillion, but when you consider the fact that with all the unfunded liabilities like Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, it's actually north of $100 trillion. When we look at factors like that, there's a pretty good chance that tax rates actually go significantly higher again. So yeah, you can make an argument that right now taxes are on sale.
So Aaron, what can we do right now to take advantage of these low tax rates?
If you don't have an income plan in your retirement conversations, then you actually don't have a tax plan. And that's important because if you don't have a plan for your money, guess who does? Uncle Sam's got one, and by default, you'll fall into that one. So we want to offer you a no-cost, no-obligation tax map. It's a deep dive into your retirement plan and specifically your tax strategy. From there, we'll make suggestions based on what's working or what opportunities could better fit your situation. The goal is for you to keep more of your hard-earned money while giving less to Uncle Sam. Call us at 770-280-1488. Again, that's 770-280-1488. Our home office is in downtown Woodstock, but we're available all across Metro Atlanta to meet you at a time and place that fits your schedule.
Taxes are not a seasonal conversation, and they're not going away once you retire. Take advantage of the complimentary tax map by calling the Vincent Financial Group today, 770-280-1488. That's 770-280-1488. And join us for Retire ATL, Sundays at 6 p.m. right here on WSB. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
The Guaranteed Offer from Mark Spain Real Estate's the easiest way to sell your home. You can save time, make the most money, and eliminate all the hassle this summer. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
However, when peaceful demonstrations devolve into acts of vandalism or violence, especially violence directed at innocent people, law enforcement officers, and others, we must respond firmly.
That's Jim McDonald, chief of the L.A. Police Department. We're going to go live to L.A. Reporter John Baird from KNX is going to join us there on the protests that turned violent over the weekend. Want to update the Russia-Ukraine situation. We knew after that amazing attack by Ukraine against Russia, there would be retaliation. It came this weekend. Ukraine says Russia's carried out its largest overnight drone
Ukraine says
bombardment.
Russia launched nearly 500 drones overnight, but the Air Force destroyed more than two-thirds of them mid-flight. That was the largest overnight drone bombardment since the start of the war 3 years ago. Russia has stepped up its aerial attacks in recent weeks while also pressing a ground offensive in the east and northeast of Ukraine.
So I saw that story, and I was like, 500 drones. And I'm like, someone's getting rich. It's like, that's a growth industry. You talk about the changing of warfare in the 21st century. It's drones more than anything, more than tanks and planes. It's all these drones. I'm like, man, I should invest in, not to, get on the, blood diamonds or anything like that. But I was like, that is a huge growth industry. Apparently, I'm not alone in thinking this, Deborah. President Trump, I had no idea, it wants to expand our drone program here in the U.S.
Yeah, he signed a couple of orders that will expand the drone program. So what it's going to do is kind of make it a little easier for people to use drones here, but a little bit harder for foreign companies to have drones as well. So one thing they're going to do, maybe you've heard the NFL kind of complain about people having drones over the stadium.
Yeah.
So they're tightening those laws. So what it says is if you have a drone, you're going to be able to have it in your eyesight at all times. So no randomly flying over to other neighborhoods. If you can't see the drone, you're not going to be able to use it. They want to stop using drones from China specifically. And it's also going to kind of increase like how people use drones for those, what are they calling them? The cars that are the vertical takeoff cars. It's going to be part of, it's going to booster that so that you can have some of the more of those flying around.
All right. Well, I think you want to bring manufacturing jobs to the United States. Start opening drone plants. Just start. I mean, in one night, Russia launched nearly 500 drones against Ukraine. 500. And I'm talking I'm not going to make little drones that you fly over your backyard and take a picture of the kids. I'm talking like the military. We should start manufacturing those here. You got a sheet metal plant that closed down in Pennsylvania. Open that back up. You start making drones. That is a growth industry. I'm not going to invest. I'm not going to make money. But I'm just saying, those are not going away. That is the future of warfare. And we're seeing it firsthand in Russia and Ukraine. All right, when we come back, we're going to go live to L.A. The protests turned violent in L.A. over the weekend. John Baird, reporter for KNX News, is going to join us live. Eric Erickson live at 10:35, talking all things politics with the conservative Viking. And bad news for egg lovers, 1 million eggs have been recalled. Deborah will tell us about that, plus the latest on the deteriorating relationship between the world's richest man and the world's most powerful man, Elon Musk and Donald Trump. So much more to come. The Mark Arum Show on 95.5 WSB.
This is Scott Slade, and see if this fits you. You've just gotten an exorbitant estimate for repairs on your beautiful European car, or you're ready to cut the tie with the dealer. You need to check out Wolf Pen European Auto Repair in Roswell. Porsche, Mercedes-Benz, Audi, BMW, the certified technicians at Wolf Pen will have your European car or SUV running at top performance and safety without sky-high pricing. And to get to know you better for a limited time, mention you heard about Wolf Pen on the radio and get a free second opinion on repairs. Just search Wolf Pen in Roswell.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. Good morning to you. I'm Cheryl Castro. News brought to you by Dr. Roof. Our top local story, keep those umbrellas handy. Another round of storms is expected across metro Atlanta later today.
The pop-up storms will develop after 2 o'clock, and these storms will likely produce some damaging winds that can knock down a few more trees and power lines. So be aware that severe weather is still in the forecast for today.
WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says she expects the window for the bad weather to last through about 11 tonight. So check back for weather updates on your drive home today and, of course, throughout your day. DeKalb County Watershed launches a massive water pipe renovation project along one busy roadway. The project will see the replacement of more than a mile of aging water pipes along College Avenue. That work is happening at night between Sam Crossing and Lakeshore Drive until December, barring any weather delays. It is part of the county's $4 billion plan to improve the reliability of water infrastructure countywide. It is 9:31. Parts of Los Angeles remain on edge this morning after several days of protests against the Trump administration's immigration crackdown in that city. Tensions flared in some spots over the weekend. Police used tear gas, rubber bullets, and other methods to try to control the crowds. President Trump has deployed the National Guard to Los Angeles. Meanwhile, the White House travel ban fully restricting 12 countries is in effect today. The administration cites national security. It's expected to face legal challenges. A summer school is in session in Gwinnett County, and drivers will want to slow down again in school zones.
Gwinnett County Police warn that speed cameras are active again around 10 summer school locations at elementary schools from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and at middle schools from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. By law, the cameras are allowed to operate 1 hour before class begins, during the school day, and then 1 hour after class is over. Drivers caught going more than 11 miles per hour over the posted speed limits will receive tickets for $75 for a first violation. After that, the fines go up to $125. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
The City of Atlanta's annual summer food program kicks off today, offering free meals for children up to 18 years old.
Our sites are recreation centers as well as our outdoor pools this year. We also have partnerships with some libraries and some apartment communities to serve the children in their areas.
Jamal Mitchell with the Department of Parks and Recreation says the mobile feeding program on wheels is back for those kids who can't get to those locations. The goal is to serve 3,000 meals a day to low-income Atlanta kids before the program ends in late July. We are expected to spend a record amount on Father's Day this year. The National Retail Federation expects Americans will shell out $24 billion. That's up more than 7% from last year. 3 out of every 4 people surveyed say they plan to celebrate Father's Day in some way this Sunday. The average amount we're expected to each spend just under $200. It is 9:33. Time to check traffic and weather. Mike Shields now live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
And Cheryl watching a crash in a right lane, at times 2 right lanes on the southeast leg of the perimeter. 285 northbound the outer loop right at I-20 exit 46 slow as you leave Boulder Crest Road exit 51. Last chance to exit off and really avoid the delays is to take Moreland Avenue, take that north to I-20 eastbound as a wide alternate around that. With better news in Woodstock, crash is clear at 575 southbound at Highway 92. Still sluggish, so leaving Holly Springs back at Holly Springs Parkway, exit 14. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly to mostly cloudy with scattered thunderstorms today, some of which may be strong to severe with damaging wind gusts that can knock down more trees and power lines. Today's high is 83. The rain ends after midnight. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 84.
And right now, Stonecrest are at 74 degrees, 73 degrees in Mableton, another 73 in Milton. More news at 10 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Eric Erickson.
I try even when I don't agree.
The opinions expressed are his.
To at least exercise some basic empathy.
And that's what makes you listen.
Coming in like a wrecking ball, taking it all out. It's fantastic.
Eric Erickson.
Today, starting at noon.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
And if we see danger to our country and to our citizens, we'll be very, very strong in terms of law and order. It's about law and order.
President Trump on board Air Force One, sending in the National Guard to L.A. We'll go live to the protest scene next on the Mark Arum Show.
It is summertime in Atlanta, and unless you're living in the pool, it is just too hot to be outside, right? So where are you and the kids? Inside, doing crafts, eating popsicles, and yes, making messes. Paint on the floor, popsicle drips in the carpet. It adds up fast, but don't sweat it. Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning has your back this summer. It's Chris Chandler, and Zero Res is the only company I trust to get my home insanely clean. With their powerful ZR water technology, Zero Res cleans like magic with no harsh soaps, no chemicals, and zero residue. Means your carpets stay cleaner, fluffier, and healthier longer. And now's the perfect time to book, too, during the Zero Res Summer Sale. Get 15% off carpet cleaning, air ducts, area rugs, upholstery, tile, and grout, all of it 15% off. Just mention me, Chris Chandler, when you book to lock in your discount. Visit ZeroResAtlanta.com today to schedule. And don't forget, Zero Res offers commercial cleaning, too. Zero Res, all they leave is clean.
From house hunting to boxing up your entire life, moving is hectic. That's why when my family and I moved, we chose Scana Energy as our natural gas provider. Their dependable customer service and great options made things really easy for Mama Bear and me. Now, if only they could help me find where the Cubs put the packing tape. Oh. For a limited time, receive a $60 bill credit when you sign up. Call 1-877-GO-SCANA or visit scanaenergy.com/mover60 for details. Limited time offer. Additional terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Scott Slade for FGA Roofing. If your home's exterior could use an updated look, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, and your current roof has started to show its age, then now's the perfect time to check out FGA Roofing for the latest in architectural shingles, timberland shingles, and more. Slate, tile, wood shake, cedar roofs, FGA has them all. FGA Roofing offers 0% financing for 12 months with your good credit. Get the roof you want now and pay over time. Click firstgaroof.com. That's firstgaroof.com.
A number of people stayed around and unfortunately were committing violence, in the form of defacing buildings, throwing bottles, throwing cans. And that's just unacceptable.
Unacceptable indeed. That is the mayor of L.A., Karen Bass, as apparently, Deborah, there are more than one. I thought this was just centered around the 401 freeway near one of the detention centers, but apparently there are multiple detention centers around L.A. where these riots, protests broke out. Again, in just a couple of minutes, we're going to go live to L.A. with talk to John Baird from KNX, not W, just KNX Radio in L.A. He's been covering the protests that turned violent throughout the weekend. He's going to join us live in just a couple of minutes. I know a lot of folks are listening on the WSB Radio app about to make their breakfast. We've got a lot of at-home workers that listen to the show and eat breakfast while listening to the Mark Arum Show. If you're about to crack an egg, do we have to worry, Deborah? A 1 million egg recall.
Over 1 million, close to 2 million. Yeah, close to 2 million dozen eggs are being recalled due to potential salmonella contamination. So the FDA is recalling these from the August Egg Company. They're based out of California, and they distributed eggs in Walmart locations across 9 states. Luckily, Georgia is not on the list of one of those 9 states. So here in Georgia, we're okay. But California, Nevada, Illinois, Arizona, Wyoming, New Mexico, Nebraska, Indiana, they all have to check their eggs.
So California and Nevada, where we've had protests and the shooting in Vegas, they also have to worry about salmonella in eggs.
Yes.
Oh, goodness gracious. Quick egg update. So it's now summer, Maya. Maya's off from school. She's living her best life. And she made me an egg and cheese sandwich yesterday morning when I finally got out of bed at like 9:30. And I always know she bought Happy Eggs. Like, that's what she likes. I don't know what the deal with Happy Egg, but they do taste a lot better. They're more expensive, but to her, it's worth it. She's an egg lover. And I was looking at the carton. I'd never really looked at the carton. And apparently they brag on the carton of eggs that, like, I guess they're free-range chickens. And it says something like, our chickens have 6+ acres to roam around in. I was like, that's a weird humble brag on a carton of eggs, like 6+ acres. I'm like, we don't even have 6+ acres here. Like, that's crazy. They're living their best life. One more egg-related story before we get to John Baird from KNX. I saw a video on social media. It was a guy's married to a woman from Germany, and they live here in the United States. And he went through the supermarket and said what things that Germans think are weird about U.S. supermarkets. And his wife, who's from Germany, speaks German, was amazed or appalled or both that we keep our eggs in the refrigerated section of the grocery store.
Yeah.
Apparently, the rest of the world doesn't refrigerate eggs. They just...
In the times that I've been in Europe, they're not in the refrigerator section, no.
So it's just is this just the United States thing?
I don't know if it's just the United States, like maybe Canada does it too, but I know that a lot of places in Europe, they're just not refrigerated. Because like chickens aren't, if you go get them from a chicken coop, they're not refrigerated.
No, exactly. If you buy farm fresh eggs, it's not a farmer with a refrigerator at the side of the road. He's got, the basket of eggs. And I guess, I don't know, it's just growing up, we've always had the eggs and butter in the fridge, but I know a lot of people keep butter out of the fridge. I just thought it's safer. I grew up thinking, you better refrigerate your eggs so they don't go bad.
I think it's the process of pasteurizing and like cleaning them and all that makes us have to put them in the fridge.
Yeah, I don't think you have to put them in the fridge. I don't think they'll go bad necessarily.
But I think once you put them in, they have to like stay in there, I guess, right?
If they're raised on 6+ acres, I think you do. If you're paying $12 for a carton of eggs or whatever they are, I think you take caution and take protection. Have you ever cracked an egg that there was like not what you expected inside of it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's happened.
I've had double yolks before.
Oh, all right.
No.
Play the lottery. Well, there you go. You had twins. All right. Continue our coverage of the protests in L.A. Joining us live on the Mark Arum Show from KNX News, John Baird. John, good morning. As always, great to have you on the show.
Hey, good morning.
Give us a timeline. I totally tuned out of the news this week, and I didn't even know what was going on in L.A. When did this all start, and why did it start?
It started on Friday because of enforcement action, by the feds, immigration enforcement action. People were upset. Protests started Friday. People were getting detained, and then the protests, kind of got out of hand in some situations. Now, I know that on Saturday, I was working on Saturday, and they had a big demonstration down in Paramount, which is probably about a 25-minute drive southeast of downtown L.A. Protesters there were upset because they thought that ICE was detaining people, day laborers at a Home Depot store. And I'll tell you what, I got caught in the middle of that. Flashbang grenades were going off and tear gas as the authorities were trying to push the protesters back. Got really ugly. That was on Saturday, continued into the evening. And then yesterday, downtown L.A., it just crazy again. 1,000 protesters marched over from Boyle Heights on the east side of L.A. here to downtown Los Angeles, battling police. The 101 freeway was shut down. There were protesters on the freeway. They were throwing things at the CHP officers. And right here near Union Station in downtown L.A., I'm on a side street, Los Angeles Street, and there are these clumps of metal that used to be those Waymo driverless taxis that were set on fire, and they just let them burn because they were worried about toxic gases from the lithium-ion batteries. Let me tell you, they must have burned hot because there's not much left of any of them, just clumps of metal in the street, probably 5 or 6 of them.
6:42 in the morning in L.A. Calm on the streets right now?
Calm on the streets right now. When I drove in here a couple of hours ago, obviously it was still dark. There were law enforcement vehicles all over the downtown area, and it looked like they were concentrating on protecting, City Hall, the government buildings, the federal buildings, the courthouse, that area there. They were all over the place. Streets were blocked off. And I walked around a little while ago. There's graffiti everywhere. But they're expecting more protests again today.
John Baird from KNX joining us live in L.A. on the Mark Arum Show. President Trump, for the first time in 60 years, sent in the National Guard without being asked by the governor. How is that falling in L.A.?
Well, I've read comments that the governor has made, and I think the mayor as well of Los Angeles, and I mean, they're not happy that the president took these actions. They think it just will inflame things, make things worse. I think that they have called, actually, they have the National Guard, recalled, but instead we're hearing that they may send in 500 Marines to bolster the National Guard. So I haven't seen any National Guard members this morning yet. Who knows? They could be blocks away from here. But I am seeing a pretty heavy police presence in downtown Los Angeles today, all over the place.
I've been playing some audio from Jim McDonnell, the chief of police of the L.A. Police Department. Does it sound like law enforcement in L.A. and L.A. County that they want help from the National Guard and or the Marines, or do they think they have things under control?
Well, that's actually a very good question, and I haven't talked to the chief today, but it sounded like they were kind of overwhelmed last night. And I think they had requested help from the Sheriff's Department. This morning, again, what I saw was LAPD and the LA Sheriff's Department with vehicles everywhere spread out in this relatively small area that I'm in downtown between City Hall and the federal building and the courthouse and the Hall of Justice and the county administration building, kind of a big, 6 or 8 block area. But I don't know if they needed the National Guard. I know, again, that the governor thought that they did not need to be called in and was upset that they were brought in.
John, I know these protests are bubbling up around these detention centers around the L.A. area. Hearing from the mayor and the governor that they've enacted the Unlawful Assembly Area Act, which I would assume that means like these areas are off limits if you want to protest peacefully. Is that something you've seen before in your coverage of L.A.?
I don't recall them ever doing that. I know that at that federal building, and I was there Saturday before I went to Paramount to see the Home Depot thing. I know that this is where on Friday the people that ICE were targeting were brought into this detention center here, and they had Congress people here, they had protesters here trying to get information. They couldn't get anything. This morning, there were just a bunch of law enforcement vehicles around the building. By the way, it's been tagged. I mean, there are graffiti everywhere on that building. But as far as I can tell, I don't think you'd be able to get very close.
What's the level of concern for folks in, say, Malibu or Hermosa Beach? Like, is it just the areas that we're seeing these protests, or is there, widespread concern throughout the county?
Are you talking about widespread protests everywhere, or are you talking about
just the concern? Are they, folks in areas that have not yet seen the protests, are they worried that they might spread to their areas as well?
Haven't talked to people in those areas, and I live down by the beach. I think there's just concern overall about what's going on, about the National Guard being called in over the objections of the governor, and wondering where this is all headed. I mean, the Marines coming in, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest concern is, I guess the feds really, putting the hammer down and trying to put an end to this.
Obviously, the protest, the big story there, peaceful into violent, and we've heard reports of looting. But then the next layer of the story is what's going to happen with the National Guard troops and the Marines. John Baird, KNX, live in L.A. John, as always, appreciate your time, my friend.
All right. Thank you.
Stay safe as well. Yeah, crazy stuff. We're going to go check in at 11:05 with Stacey Lynn from CBS. Again, the protests are the big thing, right? The looting, the violence. John mentioned those two Waymo cars that were set fire. What happens next and the impact that the National Guard and or the Marines might have. So we're going to continue to monitor this huge story out in L.A. When we come back, though, after a quick break, we're going to head to White House correspondent John Decker. You might remember he was the one that asked the question that basically lit the fuse under President Trump, started that big Elon Musk-Trump Twitter battle. We'll check back in with White House correspondent John Decker. First, though, let's check the Monday morning drive around town. Live with the latest, here's Mike Shields.
And still watching a travel advisory on the southeast leg of the perimeter. Mark, a crash with two right lanes blocked. Now, live look at the jam cam. This does appear to be in the clearing stages with a wrecker on scene, but right now, two right lanes blocked. 285 northbound, the outer loop at I-20, exit 46. Slow as you leave Boulder Crest Road, exit 51. Last chance to exit off is to take Moreland Avenue, exit 53. Take that north to I-20 eastbound as a wide alternate. This support is brought to you by Callaway Resort and Gardens. Celebrate summer at Callaway Resort and Gardens with their 2-day July 4th Star Spangled Beach Party. Book your stay for fireworks, live music, and more at CallawayGardens.com. That's CallawayGardens.com. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Chris Chandler. When you join us Tuesday, starting at 5 a.m. for Atlanta's Morning News, the latest overnight info from Los Angeles, breaking metro stories too, and are there still more storms in our exclusive 5-day forecast? Plus, Triple Team Traffic gets you to work on time, and how Clark Howard says you can fight back against high hospital bills. Join us for Atlanta's Morning News Tuesday at 5 on 95.5 WSB.
Change always happening. It's a part of life, friends, and when it comes to music, change is really all around us. Songs rewritten, classics remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same: the price of your internet. It's Mark Aaron back from my friends at Xfinity. Xfinity introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. 5-year price guarantee. Are you surprised? Don't be. Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed broadband experience report of August 2020 for Xfinity.com/deals.
Hi, it's Wes Moss. May's mayhem is behind us and June is in full bloom. Spring brings milestones like graduations, weddings, and even new homes. It's also a time when you might be thinking about retirement. If that's you, visit our team at Capital Investment Advisors. We'll work with you to craft an income-focused portfolio designed to deliver a reliable paycheck in retirement. Get started at yourwealth.com. That's YOUR wealth.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
The perfect match for your next roof is Fenley Roofing. Fenley has already helped over 65,000 Georgia families and has over 2,000 five-star reviews. So you'll be sure you get your roof done right. Learn more at FenleyRoofing.com.
Find seafood savings at Whole Foods Market. Get 20% off sustainable wild-caught fresh halibut fillets with Prime through June 10th. Grill this light, delicious fish with roasted veggies on the side. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
9:53 on the Mark Arum Show, continuing to monitor the protests in L.A. Eric Erickson joins us live at 10:35 to talk all things politics. But right now, let's head up to the nation's capital. White House correspondent John Decker. John, good morning. Last week, you asked the question that set off the 3 Mile Island Twitter explosion from Elon Musk. What's the latest on the battle, or not, or no battle anymore, between the world's richest man and the world's most powerful man?
Well, if you thought that over the weekend cooler heads would prevail, they would patch things up, you are sorely mistaken. The feud's still there. I mean, what President Trump has said is that he is not talking to Elon Musk, does not plan to talk to Elon Musk, wishes him well with his future. But, you know, there is not a future in terms of Elon Musk partnering with Donald Trump in the same way they seem to partner with each other during the course of the president's first 100-plus days in office. As you may recall, Elon Musk attended every one of the president's cabinet meetings. I've never seen anything like it before. He's a private citizen, and he literally had a seat at the cabinet table for those cabinet meetings. But now, because Elon Musk is opposed to the big, beautiful bill, that really set off the president and made that relationship one which ultimately was severed. And that's where we stand today.
Saw reporting that Elon went back and deleted some of those fiery tweets from last week.
He did.
But he also, floated the idea of a third party in America. And President Trump, I believe, warned him, don't support Democratic candidates or you'll pay the price, something along those lines.
Well, look, what he could do, maybe he said, okay, I won't do that. But what he could do, if he wished to do so, is to oppose Republicans with other Republicans that, have his viewpoint of the world and are also opposed to that big, beautiful bill in the primary process during the midterm elections. He's got the money to do it. He spent $250 million supporting Donald Trump in his run for the White House in 2024, and that's nothing to Elon Musk, who's a billionaire many times over. So that is certainly a possibility. We'll see what Elon Musk ultimately decides to do in terms of the political process for next year.
Saw Vice President J.D. Vance coming out fully supporting President Trump in this battle. Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill, did they circle the wagons around the president as well?
Oh, absolutely. They know where their bread is buttered. They know the reason why that they remain where they are. And so if given a choice between Elon Musk and Donald Trump, any elected Republican certainly is going to choose Donald Trump, and that means that Elon Musk is trying to figure out what his next step is. He still remains opposed to the legislation. What does he do in terms of increasing that opposition that he wants against that legislation in the U.S. Senate? Right now, 2 Senate Republicans say they are opposed to the bill. Rand Paul of Kentucky, Ron Johnson of Wisconsin. And the reason they're opposed to it, the same reason that Elon Musk is opposed to it, according to Elon Musk, and that's because it adds so much to the U.S. debt, $3 trillion, according to the Congressional Budget Office.
White House correspondent John Decker. John, appreciate your time as always.
Thank you. Have a great day and a great weekend. A great week. Bye-bye.
Deborah, I'm just perusing Elon's Twitter profile this morning. In the last 12 hours or so, maybe a warming of the relationship. He has retweeted a J.D. Vance tweet that posted Donald Trump's tweet or Truth Social post. This moment calls for decisive leadership. The president will not tolerate rioting and violence. Elon Musk had 2 American flags above that on a retweet. And then he just retweeted straight up President Trump's Truth Social post, a graphic of it. Governor Gavin Newsom and Mayor, in quotes, Bash, should apologize to the people of L.A. for the absolutely horrible job they've done. And this now includes the ongoing L.A. riots. These are not protesters. They are troublemakers and insurrectionists. Remember, no masks. So, all right. So Musk is maybe warming to his former BFF. All right. When we come back after news, weather, and traffic, we'll go back to L.A., get the latest there. Plus, Abrego Garcia now back in the United States. How that happened. Stephen Portnoy from ABC News breaks it down for us next on The Mark Arum Show.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Scott Slade here from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you're going to be able to get it into the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world. Protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
At Ameris Bank, we know that it's never just business when it's your business. I'm Brian Parks, head of commercial banking in Atlanta for Ameris Bank. Whether your business is looking to optimize cash flow, improve your payment technology, or grow more quickly, my team and I are here and ready to help with a superior level of service, smart banking technology, and local market expertise. I invite you to reach out to my team by visiting amerisbank.com/yourbusiness or a local branch near you. Ameris Bank, fiercely yours, member FDIC.
Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. I know what's important to you when you're looking for a new deck. You want the work done with quality workmanship, on time, within your budget, and built correctly. Getting a new deck from Ben Hill Renovations checks all the boxes. And when it comes to new decks, pretty much anything you can imagine, Ben Hill can do. And they're all backed by the Ben Hill Workmanship Warranty. Swing by the new Ben Hill Renovations showroom in Douglasville and talk to one of their designers. Or see them on the web at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
When someone's AC is on the fritz, drains are clogged, or wall outlets are sparking, Castile Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical never asks, how soon do you need it fixed? You know why? Because no one in recorded history has ever said, oh, take your time, just whenever you can get to it. We just assume how fast can you get here will always be the answer. So Castile will be there same day, and we won't leave until you're 100% satisfied. See? Sometimes it's good to assume. It gets your AC fixed fast. Book today at CastileAir.com.
news, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Well, watch for more delays as Georgia DOT crews continue emergency repairs to the Buford Spring Connector on-ramp to I-85 northbound today. WSB's Smile and Mark McKay says at times they're shutting down the entire ramp to fix cracks that developed as a result of drainage issues.
This is going to be the case all day long, and if we add rain to the mix, as predicted, we could really have a mess on the Buford Spring Connector. That is a major thoroughfare as folks try to work their way up toward I-85.
Now, he says that there's no timeline for the DOT yet on when those repairs might be completed. In the meanwhile, he suggests using Cheshire Bridge Road or Piedmont Roads as an alternate. We'll check in with the 24-hour traffic center in just a moment. Another round of storms are expected this afternoon.
Some of these storms may be strong to severe with damaging wind gusts capable of knocking down a few more trees and power lines.
And WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says she expects the window for the bad weather to be between 2 o'clock this afternoon and 11, so you want to check back for weather updates on your drive home today. Another major water main replacement project getting underway in DeKalb County.
DeKalb County Watershed is replacing more than a mile of iron water pipes on College Avenue between Sam's Crossing and Lakeshore Drive east of Decatur. The project's expected to last until December, barring any weather delays. They'll be working overnight from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Sunday through Friday. Expect additional traffic during those hours. It's the latest project under the county's $4.2 billion capital improvement program, which will improve capacity and reliability. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Or you might want to ease up on the gas pedal in Gwinnett County in the school zone starting today.
Most students are out of school now, but summer classes begin today for others. So Gwinnett County Police warn drivers that speed cameras will be operating again at 10 summer school locations. Lower speed limits will be enforced between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. outside elementary schools and between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. near middle schools. The speed zones are clearly marked and cameras will catch drivers going 11 miles per hour or more over the speed limit. Jennifer Perry, 95.5 WSB.
In L.A., several protesters arrested overnight as a third night of clashes between police and protesters there. Matt Gutman has more from downtown Los Angeles.
Multiple vehicles set on fire, covered in graffiti condemning ICE. An electric scooter thrown from an overpass, damaging a highway patrol vehicle, which was then set on fire. Many hundreds descending on the 101 freeway, blocking traffic in both directions.
And as those protesters clashed on immigration agents on the West Coast, officials here in Georgia say that their operations are moving at a rapid pace. Homeland Security Investigations Special Agent in Charge Steve Schrank telling WSB.
We're conducting at-large enforcement where we're looking for illegal aliens that have committed crimes or have existing orders of final deportation to be removed from the United States.
He says that they have made thousands of arrests in recent months, and he expects that to continue to ramp up. Let's take a look at the market, see how your investments are working for you. The Dow right now is down 112 at 42,650. NASDAQ is in positive territory at 43, and the S&P is also in the green. It is time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca is joining us now with a look at the roads.
Hey, Sabrina, good morning. You mentioned at times the Buford Spring Connector ramp to 85 northbound may be entirely shut down, and that is the case now as Morning Drive is coming to a close. They do have both ramp lanes shut. Again, that's Buford Spring Connector headed north. You cannot exit onto 85 north. And better news on the southeast perimeter. Lanes opening, crash clearing 285 north between Flat Shoals and I-20, but delays begin leaving Boulder Crest. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly to mostly cloudy through the afternoon with widespread rain showers and thunderstorms, some of which may be strong to severe with damaging wind gusts, could knock down trees and power lines. Today's high is 83. The storms fizzle out around midnight, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 84.
And right now in Holly Springs, Dunwoody, and Fairburn, it is 76 degrees. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Monday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:04, 4 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The whole family with us today. Deborah is the executive producer of the program. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Two Slices. screens your calls. Coming up in 30 minutes, Eric Erickson's going to join us live talking all things politics. At 11:05, we're going to continue our team coverage of the ongoing protests in L.A. Stacey Lynn from CBS with the very latest. Again, President Trump has deployed the National Guard over protests in L.A. and has even suggested sending in 500 Marines. In case you missed it, these protests develop on Friday night around immigration centers throughout L.A. County. And just like in, you could be out protesting. What's something we all agree on, Deborah? I know there's very little. Let's say, hey, we want McDonald's ice cream machines to be functional, right? Yes. We can all get on that. You could have a peaceful protest walking down Peachtree Street. We want ice cream, whatever. But whenever there's a protest, no matter how well-intended it is or how benign it might seem, you are going to see a segment of the population that sees a protest and say, this is a chance to either do something nefarious, whether it's loot, riot, graffiti, whatever, set cars on fire, or it's someone that just wants to cause chaos. And we've seen it in protests here. Years ago, we had I can't even remember what people were protesting. You remember when they were trying to get on the downtown connector? I forgot.
I think that might have been during some of the Black Lives Matter protests.
Yeah, and, it started out peacefully, and then you see opportunists. That's the word, opportunists. They're like, this is our chance to wreak havoc or steal stuff, or it doesn't matter. It could be a protest for something that we all agree on, like get the ice cream machines working back at McDonald's. And at some point, it's going to not be a peaceful protest. And we're seeing that unfold. We saw it unfold over the weekend in L.A. No matter how well-intended the protesters were to start things off, that's a right to protest. They're opposing the immigration, whatever. That's fine. But as soon as it's no longer peaceful, then all bets are off. And that's what we saw this weekend. Hopefully it will not escalate once the National Guard and or the Marines get there. All right, let's head back up to D.C. Joining us is Stephen Portnoy from ABC News. Stephen, good morning. An update on the case of Abrego Garcia. We had heard, that El Salvadoran was deported to El Salvador, and the Trump administration said he is never, ever going to come back to the United States. That is no longer the case. Get us caught up to speed on this Monday morning.
Yeah, he's back. He came back on Friday, brought back by the federal government. Why? To face charges. He's now in Tennessee. He had his initial court appearance on Friday, and it all happened so swiftly, so you may have missed it. But Abrego Garcia is now charged in a federal indictment with taking part in a conspiracy to transport thousands of migrants from Texas to the interior of the country. This indictment, filed in Tennessee, alleges that Kilmar Abrego Garcia smuggled people, even guns and drugs, and that he alone ran more than 100 trips from Texas to Maryland and other states. The Attorney General said at a news conference on Friday that this idea that he was a sheet metal worker was just a cover, that his real full-time job was to be a smuggler. Now, Kilmar Abrego Garcia was deported along with a couple hundred other people in March. These deportation flights that took off from Texas and flew to El Salvador as the president invoked the Alien Enemies Act, and there's been so much going on in court since. The family of Kilmar Abrego Garcia went into federal court in Maryland to say that this man was wrongly deported because there was an order granted by an immigration judge that protected him from being sent to his home country. He had alleged that his family was the victim of gang violence in El Salvador, and the immigration judge agreed and said that, he could be sent somewhere else, but not back to El Salvador, which is where he was sent. And now he's back in the United States. His attorneys say that this means he's going to get a fair trial, finally, that he had been imprisoned in El Salvador without charges, and now he's back in the United States and at least will have some amount of due process. The specific allegation that he was involved in human trafficking, it will be very interesting to see how the defense lawyers mount a defense against it. They may allege that this is all the subject of a vindictive and selective prosecution, an example of, you find me the man, I'll find you the crime, because it's not as though there had been this wide-ranging investigation by the Justice Department into human trafficking and they identified Kilmar Abrego Garcia as a suspect. The opposite appears to be true, that they were looking at Kilmar Abrego Garcia because there was great public interest in the case, found this example of a traffic stop in Tennessee in 2022, kept digging, and then uncovered what they call a conspiracy that had him engaging allegedly in this activity, which his attorneys say that they need to dig more into to understand. This is all playing out so quickly on Friday. Now, his family's attorneys went into court in Maryland yesterday to say that just because he's back does not render the litigation in Maryland moot. There is a judge, named Paula Sinise in the federal court in Maryland who directed the government to bring Kilmar Abrego Garcia back, or at least to facilitate his release from prison in El Salvador. And the position of the federal government had been, we can't do it and we won't do it. And here are all the reasons why, and it's, you can't make us. Well, now it's happened, and the Justice Department's formal position is this should render the litigation in Maryland moot. But the family says that because the Justice Department not only dragged its feet, but essentially thumbed its nose at the judge, that there had to be some sort of repercussions. That they describe it in their filing as a stain on the Constitution that has to be remedied by the court. Well, let's see how it all plays out. One other thing I'll mention, Mark, and that is this. We reported on Friday that a prosecutor in Tennessee, a federal prosecutor in Tennessee named Ben Schrader, who was a high-ranking official, spent 15 years in the federal prosecutor's office in Tennessee, resigned over the last couple of weeks prior to the announcement of the charges against Abrego Garcia. Why would he resign? Well, according to our reporting, it's because he was concerned that this case was being pursued for political reasons. And he put on his LinkedIn a couple of weeks ago that he was resigning after 15 years. He didn't tie it to Abrego Garcia. He simply said that his job description, the only one he's ever known, is to do the right thing in the right way for the right reasons. He was the head of the criminal division in that office that's bringing these charges, and he's quitting? Well, this could be interesting. So far, his official statement to us is no comment.
Very interesting. Final quick question for you, Stephen. Bringing Garcia back, does that set things straight now with the Supreme Court and their order in the Trump administration?
Well, that's where it really, be very interesting to see where Judge Sinise in Maryland responds to the family's filing yesterday. The family wants the federal government and agents in the federal government to be held in contempt of court for, again, thumbing their nose for months. The Justice Department's position is this situation is no longer relevant in this court. The man is back in the United States for separate reasons, but nevertheless, it doesn't matter anymore. That's the government's position. The family and its lawyers argue that wrong was done here. It needs to be cured by the court. Let's see how that plays out.
We will indeed. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News. Stephen, as always, thanks for your time.
You bet.
You think he's happy to be back, Deborah? I mean, he was brought back to the United States from El Salvador, but he's facing like these crazy charges in Tennessee. Do you think he'd rather be back in the United States facing these charges or in limbo in the El Salvadorian jail?
I mean, wasn't that jail in El Salvador really harsh? I bet the American jail is
a little
I don't wanna
cushier.
say a picnic. Yeah, just a little bit safer probably than where he was.
Yeah, I don't even think you got 3 hots and a cot in the El Salvadorian jail. That looked like it was really, really nasty. Anyway, he's back in the United States. Did not think that would happen, but he is back. A lot of legal battles ahead for him and the Trump administration. We'll update those as warranted here on 95.5 WSB. Speaking about 3 hots and not necessarily a cot, Deborah, school's out for summer, right? Hooray to all the kids and all the teachers that don't have to deal with those kids anymore. Thoughts and prayers to the parents. But this is always a difficult time for food deprived, food insecure kids, because a lot of kids the only meals they get during the school year are provided by the school. There's breakfast programs, there's free and reduced lunch programs, and once summer comes out, some of those kids don't get those meals they were used to. Apparently, there's some good news when it comes to summer meals.
Yeah, the Atlanta Parks and Recreation Department is bringing back its summer food program. So it kicks off today, so June 9th, and it's going to run through July 25th, and it lasts all summer to help feed kids that might not have a regular lunch outside of school. And it's going to be at 13 different places around the city. So think of like community centers. That's probably the biggest ones that I think of. But you do have to stay there and eat the meal, and it's trying to give out at least 3,000 meals a day throughout the summer.
That's really, and this is just in the city of Atlanta?
Just for Atlanta, yep.
I wonder if you live in Cobb or, Fulton or DeKalb, can you go and get these free meals? Or
yeah, Andrew, can you do that? Can your kids do that?
What's that? Say that again?
Go. Don't worry about it.
No.
Can if your kids were food deprived? Could they go from Cobb County to the city of Atlanta to get free meals?
Oh, I don't know about that.
They check IDs?
No, they don't check IDs. I don't think.
Yeah, I would imagine it's free to everybody.
Yeah.
But that's great because I know. Maya taught at a school where I think 100% of the kids were on free or reduced lunch, and they were, usually kids are ecstatic on the last day of school, and there were kids that were sad, and she'd be like, "Why are you so sad? It's the last day of school." And they're like, Where am I going to get my lunch tomorrow? Where am I? That's heartbreaking stuff. So 3,000 meals, 13 places. I'm assuming we'll have the info and the data online at WSBradio.com. Speaking of checking IDs, I heard this on Atlanta's Morning News, Deborah, and you sent me the story as well. I understand people take pride in the Costco ID, right? Clark Howard, that's something we could auction off for the Care-a-thon. A signed Clark Howard Costco ID, one of his expired ones, right? You show it with pride. Apparently, people were using that at TSA as like a form of identification. Like you go to board an airplane and you're like ID and boarding pass, and you hand them a Costco ID. Apparently, that's not an acceptable form of government issued ID, Deborah.
Yeah, so basically the TSA is saying you can't bring your Costco card. Now, they're not going to confiscate it from your wallet or anything, but what people were doing is, we've had this thing for the past couple of years about the real ID, right?
Yeah.
Got to get this real ID if you want to travel, otherwise it's going to be harder. And one of the things they're saying about the real ID is if you don't know you have one or not, look at your driver's license. It's going to have a star in the upper corner of it. Well, if you look at your Costco card, there is a giant gold star, just like they say the real ID should have.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so people are thinking, my Costco card means I'm verified. It must be a real ID. So they're trying to use that to get through TSA instead of maybe updating their driver's license or not necessarily knowing if they have that real ID.
That's fantastic. I'm not a Costco member. I should be. I had no idea that. All right, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
People are like, no, I don't have it on my license, but I've got it on my Costco card. You have it. You pull it out, Longoria. You're a Costco guy.
But it's a big star on the front. It's not like
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but all they said is it has to have a gold star on it, and that's what people were thinking.
Gold star member is what it says.
That's fantastic.
Verified.
How did I not know that you were a I should be every weekend. I should be texting you, hey Longo, take me to.
I'm a Sam's
Costco.
member too. I'm both.
They sell
I'm
baseball
double dipping.
cards there.
I'm gonna stop bugging Sanjay. Sanjay gets so mad at me. I'm like, hey, can we go to Costco? Did I tell you about the time we went there? And
yes,
for my 50th birthday, so I had my 50th birthday party at this dim sum place in Gwinnett County, and they don't have alcohol. So I was like, Sanjay, we got to go. We got to go to Costco so I can buy beer and wine for my birthday party. He's like, all right. So we go up there, and he's got one of the big carts, and it's loaded. I mean, WSB Radio, we're drinkers. My friends are. So there's like cases of wine and overfilling this cart. And who do we run into at Costco? Sanjay's ex-mother-in-law. And see Sanjay pushing this cart with like $2,000 worth of booze on it. And she's like, "What? I'm glad my daughter got out of that relationship. Like, what is wrong with this guy?" Anyway, all right, so Costco, not a verified form of ID if you're going through TSA, even though it's got that big star on it. All right, when we come back, going to update our top local stories. Oh, ABC's Terry Moran got in trouble. I'll talk about that. But first, let's check the Monday morning ride around town. Live in Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Hello and good morning, Ashley Frasca.
Good morning. The big traffic story, one of the big traffic stories over the weekend was the Buford Spring Connector, that bridge repair. They're checking things out. And right now they do have the ramp shut down again. I think they waited until after morning drive. So you cannot access 85 North leaving downtown from the Buford Spring Connector northbound. Stick with 85 North out of downtown or use Piedmont Avenue. Traffic brought to you by Extreme Experience. Give Dad the ultimate driving experience in a Ferrari, Lamborghini, or Porsche on a real racetrack. Extreme Experience hits Atlanta Motorsports Park July 10th through 13th. Save 25% for Father's Day. ExtremeExperience.com. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
When the news matters to you.
The FAA says the flight crew was reporting possible smoke in the flight deck.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
Beef prices are going up.
Your 24/7 news source.
They had no ties to a gang, but they were killed by them.
When you need the story, all you need to do is listen. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's breaking news station.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, every week on the show, we offer folks something we call the Portfolio X-Ray. I was hoping you could walk us through that process and tell us why the information it uncovers is so powerful.
Yeah, so the reason we love doing the Portfolio X-Ray for you is we do that behind the scenes. Everybody's extremely busy. Nobody wants to waste time in traffic. If you call in, we will ask you for some information via the phone. Once you've given us that information, we go to work and we put all the hours in developing the report. And I commit this to you. The Portfolio X-Ray is eye-opening. at least 90+% of the time, we can find 2 or 3 golden nuggets in there that you were not aware of that we can either change in your current portfolio mix for you. It's called a 401k optimizer. Or if we manage the assets for you, we certainly can recommend how to diversify away from some of the troubling points that are exposed during the portfolio x-ray. Once we've got that, then we'll have you in for your initial consultation. We will present the portfolio x-ray to you and walk you through the high points of it. And that's a document that you get to take with you. It's like getting a financial physical. So how many of you avoided going to the doctor for the annual physical last year? You do the same thing with your financial life. You ignore it. You keep pumping money into your 401k. You hope that it's going well. And I can tell you that hope is not a good investment or financial planning strategy. You need to know. So if you want to know, call us.
The Portfolio X-ray is complimentary. Give Hoffman Financial Group a call to schedule yours today. 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Is your old AC unit ready for another sweltering Atlanta summer? Probably not. Hey, good news. Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable. Great new deal going on right now, guys. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Any AC, just $69.99 a month. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button or call or text 770-594-9969.
With thousands of 5-star reviews, it's no wonder CertaPro Painters is Greater Atlanta's most preferred painting company. Hear from one of their happy customers.
We wanted to add some color to our walls, so we hired CertaPro. We had built-in shelves that were supposed to be ready to paint when they got there, which they were not. CertaPro spent hours caulking and sanding to make sure the job was done right. It's rare to find a crew with integrity who really take pride in their work.
When choosing a painting professional, choose happy. Choose CertaPro Painters.
Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Hey y'all, Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care, and I'm not going to cry in this commercial, I hope. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I am so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. It's all because of the incredible caregivers who came to see them every day. I am so grateful to Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company that vets and hires every single one of their caregiving specialists. They don't have contractors. They're not some national corporation. They are simply the best here in Georgia. And a lot of you have asked me about my journey and if home care is right for your aging parents. I'll tell you what I tell them. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Check out this amazing deal on Kellogg's cereal. Select varieties or buy 2 get 3 free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Doc, you don't just walk into a store and buy plutonium. Did you rip that off?
You know who that is. You know what that movie is. Michael J. Fox, happy birthday. Dude turned 64 years old. That was Back to the Future, Family Ties, Teen Wolf. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, it were decades dominated by 3 Michaels. Michael J. Fox, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan. I'm surprised that a majority of boys born in that era weren't named Michael, right? That's a pretty big threesome, Deborah.
Mhm.
Wow, that sounded weird. Michael J. Fox, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, they were everywhere when I was growing up. Like, they were the best in their professions. That's all. All right. Happy birthday to Michael J. Fox. All right, Terry Moran got in hot water from ABC News, Deborah, over a social post. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so ABC News suspended Terry Moran after he called White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller a world-class hater. Now, he posted this all on X. It has been deleted, but, everything kind of lives forever on the internet. So ABC says this comment does not reflect the news company itself. It violates the standards, so he's been put on suspension, I guess. And this kind of is, we've done this before about, be careful what you post on social, even if it is your page, because it's not freedom of speech and there are repercussions for things that you post.
He knows better.
Yeah.
Shay, you are a journalist. You cannot get your opinions, weigh anything that you're covering. He knows better. That was idiotic. I am not Terry Moran, a journalist. I am a talk show host. I can get on Twitter right now and say, Miller's a putz. Like, that dude's awful, right? And there's I might get backlash, be like, oh, how dare you? Stephen Miller's a handsome. No one's going to say that. Stephen Miller is the voice of the, but I'm not, I am allowed to do that without jeopardizing what I do on the air. It doesn't, I am not a journalist that has to play it even-handedly. I am allowed to give my opinion as a talk show host. Terry Moran knows that. That's journalism 101. You don't do it. I don't know why he did it. He should have hired
Social media Sherpas.com.
We can't charge Terry Moran what we would charge Elon Musk, but that's dumb. Yeah, that rightfully suspended. You know better than that. Yeah. It's a great teaching tool for the Grady School of Journalism right now at UGA. Don't be Terry Moran. You cannot post that stuff on social media. Just not acceptable. It's like Pete Rose. You don't bet on baseball. You deal with the repercussions. All right, news, weather, and traffic in 3 minutes. When we come back, Eric Erickson's going to join us live, all things politics, and his take on the protests gone awry in L.A. That's next on The Mark Arum Show.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Your hair loss, guys. Is it stress? Is it genetics? Is it age? Whatever the reason, the solution is from my pals at Advanced Hair. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. I want you to check out the before and after pictures. AdvancedHair.com, AdvancedHair.com. Stunning before and after pictures. If you're dealing with male pattern balding, receding hairline, whatever the issue, the solution is Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair offers the proven guaranteed solution that regrows your hair where it's currently gone. And it's a quick, simple one-day treatment. Your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. It takes just one visit, but first you need a free consultation. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow. Advancedhair.com.
Market volatility isn't slowing down. If you're nearing retirement, now is not the time to wait and see. Every day of uncertainty can put your future at risk. It's time to diversify. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I want you to know you can create certainty, locking in guaranteed income for life. This means predictable, stable cash flow, even in turbulent times. You've worked too hard to leave your retirement to chance. Right now, there are options to receive up to 30% upfront or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't wait. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any examples provided are hypothetical. Annuities are issued with prospectus and sales brochures and should be reviewed carefully before funding as features and benefits vary. DBA in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelley Winter here. Join me this
Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday, noon to 1, right here on 95.5 WSB.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by your Metro Atlanta AMCO dealers. Brace yourself for the possibility of severe weather later on. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards on when we might see the storms.
The pop-up storms will develop after 2 o'clock, and these storms will likely produce some damaging winds that can knock down a few more trees and power lines. So be aware that severe weather is still in the forecast for today.
So be sure and stay with us or check back for updates. We'll keep you updated throughout the day. Work is underway right now on emergency repairs on the Buford Spring Connector, and it could impact your drive. Smiling Mark McKay says this all started Friday.
There's some cracks that developed, and when emergency repairs are in place, they shut things down for safety reasons, and yes, it caused a huge jam.
So drivers should take Cheshire Bridge Road or 7585 to get to 85 North. The Georgia Department of Transportation saying that there is progress being made on that crack, but no word on when the repairs will be completed. All right, if you got a ticket for driving in the Peach Pass illegally, Georgia is offering amnesty. To take part, you have to pay the full toll amount listed on the violation notice, and the violation fees will then be wiped out. Payment must be made, though, on or before June 30th. The amnesty offering is for violations between the end of September of last year and May 30th of this year. This is new this morning. Scam alert to tell you about. Criminals are posing as recruiters from well-known companies. They're sending text messages with phony job offers.
We have a lot of people that come to us saying that they've been scammed because they had to pay in to become a part of this business. That is a huge red flag.
That is Alyssa Parker with the Better Business Bureau. She urges anybody who gets one of these text messages to delete it. The FBI says the average loss to job text message scams is around about $3,000. Now to L.A. California Governor Gavin Newsom is urging President Trump to pull back the National Guard. The president sent him in to help deal with the immigration protests there over the weekend. White House correspondent Mary Bruce.
He says Trump is seeking a, quote, spectacle to further his own political goals, calling it a, quote, manufactured crisis. Now, right now, Trump is relying on an unorthodox use of a law aimed at quelling rebellion. These troops, as of now, cannot directly assist with law enforcement unless the president invokes what's known as the Insurrection Act. He so far has stopped short of that, but overnight, Trump did label the demonstrators insurrectionists.
Now, this is the first time since the 60s that a president has bypassed a state governor in calling up troops. Atlanta's annual summer food program kicking off today. It provides free meals to kids in need.
3,000 free meals a day. That is the goal for the program, according to manager Jamal Mitchell, as they serve breakfast and lunch to kids who typically get the nourishment at school.
Serving 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. There are set times for each location.
The website of the Department of Early Care and Learning lists all locations, but it is one meal per person.
Each person does have to consume the meal on site. That's just a way of making sure that the meals go directly to the child and not anyone else.
Meals will continue weekdays until July 25th. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
The Starbucks location at Ansley Mall is now closed. Its lease expired for the Ansley Mall store location, and Starbucks chose not to renew it. Starbucks is directing customers to visit nearby stores on Monroe Drive and Piedmont Avenue. And in case you're just joining us, Warner Brothers Discovery announcing plans to split its company into two standalone entertainment companies. One will focus on its news, sports, and entertainment brands, including CNN, TNT Sports, TBS, and other cable channels. The other is going to focus on streaming services. It'll be called Streaming and Studios. The move will be made by the middle of next year. It's not clear yet on what this means for jobs here in the Atlanta area. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 79 at 42,683. NASDAQ is up 106, so NASDAQ's up more than 0.5%, and the S&P is also in positive territory. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca is in the 24-hour traffic center.
A here unit and police protecting a stall on the downtown connector, 7585 northbound University Avenue. Be careful, that right lane is blocked, and crews have shut down that Buford Spring connector, Highway 13 ramp to 85 north. So out of downtown Atlanta, it'll be best to stick with 85 north or Piedmont Avenue, and a little bit just under the speed limit through Kennesaw, 75 north before and after Barrett Parkway. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Partly to mostly cloudy with scattered thunderstorms today, some of which may be strong to severe with damaging wind gusts that can knock down more trees and power lines. Today's high is 83. The rain ends after midnight. Lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 84.
It is 78 degrees in Johns Creek, 76 in Canton. Loganville has 78 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
It's the only way to do any kind of reform of the federal government.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
I don't remember.
Eric Von Hessler. Today at 3.
Who are you speaking for?
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
However, when peaceful demonstrations devolve into acts of vandalism or violence, especially violence directed at innocent people, law enforcement officers, and others, we must respond firmly.
That's Jim McConnell, chief of the L.A. Police Department. Coming up next, Eric Erickson's reaction to the protests and some breaking news out of the White House. 2 minutes away on The Mark Arum Show.
How easy is it to save energy and money in seconds? Power down unused devices, swap out traditional bulbs for LEDs, and adjust your thermostat for the season. Get more tips at georgiapower.com/energy efficiency today. Ready, set, save.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
That's you, looking at your garage door. And you're wondering, if it gets windy, just how much can this door take? 20 miles an hour? 30 miles an hour? Sure, if we get a little wind, your buddy says if you back the car up against it just right, you can probably save it. But what's your clever plan the next time we get a storm with a name? At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Storm-rated doors are built to withstand heavy winds, even if your building codes aren't there yet. It's like the door to the safe that protects your whole house. Stronger materials, heavy-duty motors and springs to handle the weight, and reinforced struts to keep it from bowing out in the wind. How do I know it won't bow? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll make sure you're prepared the next time a storm with a name comes sailing across the Gulf of Mo.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
10:37 on a fast-moving news day, Monday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. Just got some breaking news from our buddy Kelly Meyer. She is the White House correspondent for News Nation. Kelly posting, a White House official confirms to News Nation that later today, President Trump will highlight a $1,000 Trump account investment for kids to be included in his GOP bill. I would imagine that's the budget bill. Quote, for every U.S. citizen born between January 1st, 2024 and January 1st, 2029, the federal government will make a one-time contribution of $1,000 into a tax-deferred low-cost index fund account that will track the overall stock market. Great idea to invest for kids. Where is the money coming from, Eric Erickson?
From you and me.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I'm happy to kick in a K.
He's not doing it. Yeah, listen, this has been a long-term idea, actually, Republicans have floated for years as a way to move people off of Social Security. So essentially, you're born, you get $1,000 in the account. It tracks the overall S&P 500 over time, which should go up. By the time you get to 65, you've got a lot of money off that $1,000, and we can phase out Social Security.
You get a lot of money by the time you're 18 if you $1,000 and it's and if the market keeps going up. Interesting. All right, so I would imagine the fiscal hawks on the Senate side are going to say, well, maybe not.
So, if you run the numbers, this is the problem for them. If you run the numbers over time, you are able to start making changes to Social Security. So long term, it actually is a good fiscally prudent idea to do because it frees up the ability to adjust Social Security.
Yeah, we saw the data last week that there's going to be some adjustments that are going to impact me and you, Eric, that they're going to bump the Social Security retirement age to 69. You and I have been
I don't ever plan on retiring, so I don't really care.
Oh, good. All right. I do plan on retiring. By the way, Eric Erickson joining us live here in the Mark Arum Show. All right, we got to talk about the not so peaceful protests in L.A. First question: President Trump sending in the National Guard, sans approval or request from the governor. First time it's happened in 60 years. Your thought on that angle of this story?
Listen, I think Democrats are playing with fire here because, Americans really support Trump on border security. They're kind of unhappy with him going after the grandma who's been here for 40 years without doing anything. At the same time, they look at these riots and they're not on the side of the protesters. And when you have the media standing in front of burning cars saying this were just people having fun watching cars burn, it discredits the media here. This is actually a sweet spot for Donald Trump in the polling that's going to help him. And I remind people all the time, had it not been for COVID, he probably would have won re-election in 2020 on the issue of law and order.
That reporter, by the way, that said that, I don't know what outlet it was in L.A., he should not have a job tomorrow morning. I mean, that was just ludicrous reporting. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate and give you a hypothetical. And listen, do not tweet at me, folks. This is a hypothetical. Future President Josh Shapiro, right? He's in the Oval Office. He sees some protests turning violent in a red state of Georgia and says, you know what? I'm sending in the National Guard. I am not going to contact governor, whomever. Is this a precedent that the president might be setting that future Democratic presidents could use to their advantage?
Yeah, I mean, possibly so, but they could have in the past. I mean, let's just keep perspective here. The last time Gavin Newsom called out the National Guard, it was to shut down a Christian private school in 2021 that refused to make its pre-K kids put on masks. So, I mean, we got to keep this in perspective. Democrats do this sometimes for wild things. But, you've got this, you had the Cop City riots here in Atlanta. And Joe Biden never wanted to call out the National Guard. Local law enforcement was able to handle it. This seems a particular thing when it comes to left-wing protesters who like to protest. It tends to turn violent when they do. And when Democrats are in charge, they don't want to really do anything about it. When Republicans are in charge, it's like the Democrats are incentivized to protest more. This happens mostly in blue states. And it reverberates around the country in a way that tends to help Republicans at the polls.
That was my next question. Do you think this is an L.A. only issue, or could we see these happen in Chicago, New York City, et cetera?
Yeah, I think we could see them happen in particularly blue cities where you have Democratic leadership at the state and the city level. You might actually see some incentive to do this more. And again, it tends to hurt the Democrats nationally. And that's why you have Adam Schiff, now the senator from California, coming out today, very surprised he was this blunt and said rioting and violence is bad and it makes us look bad.
He's not lying.
Yeah.
He's not. I mean, for anyone. And I use this analogy. I was trying to think of an issue that we could all get behind. And the issue I came up with is we want every single McDonald's to have a functioning ice cream machine, right? So we gather a peaceful protest. You and I headed up walking down Peachtree Street. There are going to be bad actors that see any type of protest and be like, oh, this is my opportunity to loot or do damage or set fire. I mean, it's just the nature of protest. No matter how well-intended they might be, you're going to get elements that are there to just cause havoc.
Yeah, you often are. One of the very few gatherings of groups that doesn't turn violent, for example, is the March on Life in D.C., where they clean up after themselves. But these sorts of left-wing activist protests do tend to have elements that come into them that do disrupt them. And let's be real clear here. The original protests were just protests, but you had elements that came in, disrupted, and changed a lot of the protesters into participating. And that tends to happen more often on the left than the right, which typically doesn't go out and do these sorts of riots and protests.
Mob mentality takes over for sure. Eric Erickson joining us live here on the Mark Arum Show. Abrego Garcia back in the U.S. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, you know, I didn't either. This is a way to bow to the court without making it look like they're bowing to the court. They're going to prosecute him for human trafficking. The lead prosecutor in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Nashville, Tennessee, has resigned, saying that there never was enough evidence there to prosecute him. But Trump gets to save face without having anybody in his office held in contempt for refusing to bring the guy back. They bring the guy back, and they get to do the prosecution.
Big story last week was the battle between the world's richest man and the world's most powerful man. I see a thawing today on Twitter. Elon Musk actually posting one of President Trump's Truth Social posts about L.A. He retweeted J.D. Vance. Might there be a reconciliation coming?
Look, people on both sides want it. They have too many mutual interests for them to be separated. The president himself not wanting to comment anymore on Elon Musk. Behind the scenes at the White House, it is very clear there were individuals who were agitating for this fight to happen, you might say, and were able to kick it off. I suspect we may see a few departures from the White House over the next few weeks.
Interesting. All right, what's coming up on today's show, brother?
We'll start with the riots, of course, but then we got to get to Greta Thunberg. The Israelis stopped her from actually making it to Gaza, and they never actually did raise the sails on the ship. They used the diesel-powered engines.
Yeah. All right, I'll be listening on my way home, Eric. Thanks so much, as always,
Thank
buddy.
you.
There you go. Eric Erickson, noon to 3 here on 95.5 WSB. I was at a fundraiser this weekend for the HAS Foundation, by the way. Check it out online, hasfoundation.org. Really great organization. It was a casino night, and Shelley Winter was there too. And all people were asking us was what really happened between Elon and Donald Trump. That was the topic of the night on Saturday night. Everyone wanted to know what the heck was going on, and I don't have an answer, but I see some thawing here on social media. All right, let's check the roads on this Monday morning. Let's get back live to the traffic center. Any hot spots now, Ashley Frasca?
Well, some heavy rain moving over Clayton County and the Morrow area, Stockbridge, so dial those speeds down on the interstates for sure with the slick pavement. We do have some construction. Look out for that in the right lane of I-20 eastbound between Wesley Chapel and Panola Roads. And Hero and police still out protecting a stall on the downtown connector. That's in the right lane of 7585 northbound at University Avenue. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
The morning rush hour, the evening rush hour, and everything in between.
Slow spots are starting to build up the east side perimeter on 285 north.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic
We've
Center.
had several breakdowns, including one in the express lane.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. I know what's important to you when you're looking for a new deck. You want the work done with quality workmanship, on time, within your budget, and built correctly. Getting a new deck from Ben Hill Renovations checks all the boxes. And when it comes to new decks, pretty much anything you can imagine, Ben Hill can do. And they're all backed by the Ben Hill Workmanship Warranty. Swing by the new Ben Hill Renovations showroom in Douglasville and talk to one of their designers. Or see them on the web at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Listen up, because women have long waited for the world to recognize the importance of our health.
Northside Hospital goes beyond "we hear you" to "we're out here with you," because women deserve more than open ears.
They deserve open doors, and 1 ounce of action is worth 1,000 words.
Northside is rolling up our sleeves and getting to work for you.
This is a house call. Heard. Learn more at northside.com/heard.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
School's out and everyone is home, so trustworthy air conditioning and cool comfort is a must. Ashley Frasca here to tell you this June Ragsdale gives you up to $1,700 off a brand new Carrier home comfort system. Along with saving big, you'll enjoy Ragsdale's own trusted 15-year parts and labor warranty on your new Carrier system that's zero repair cost until June of 2040. For years now, Ragsdale has helped us stay comfortable, from installing a new high-efficiency system in our home and getting much-needed AC to the basement, to installing outdoor electrical outlets so we can spend more time on the back deck. Ragsdale has been the name I know you can trust for all of your plumbing, electrical, and insulation needs. And they're a great company to work for. Many employees have been at Ragsdale for 10, 20, even 30 years, so you know you're getting valuable experience and expertise in your home. Schedule your next visit online at ragsdaleair.com or give one of their many friendly customer service reps a call now. Ragsdale, the name I know you can trust.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. If you're over 50 and tired of your wireless bill getting higher and higher, there are 4 things to consider. 1, how much data are you really using? As we get older, we use less data on our wireless phone, but you're probably still paying for an unlimited plan that was designed for 20-somethings. 2, if you see "Get a phone on us," get your sneakers out and run the other way. No one is giving you a free phone. You are paying for that phone over time with an overpriced rate plan and a long-term commitment. 3, check the fine print on that $15 a month plan. It's probably an intro price that'll double or triple later. You might even have to pay for several months of service up front. Number 4, be aware of cable company wireless plans. Most of your usage will be on Wi-Fi instead of 5G, and your calls and battery life could suffer. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable, nationwide service without the big wireless bill. Our plans start at just $20 a month.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Hey y'all, Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care, and I'm not going to cry in this commercial, I hope. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I am so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. It's all because of the incredible caregivers who came to see them every day. I am so grateful to Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company that vets and hires every single one of their caregiving specialists. They don't have contractors. They're not some national corporation. They are simply the best here in Georgia. And a lot of you have asked me about my journey and if home care is right for your aging parents. I'll tell you what I tell them. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
52 years ago today, as heard on WSB Radio, Secretariat became the 9th horse to earn racing's Triple Crown, the first in 25 years. That was CBS sportscaster Chick Anderson on the call on the stretch run 52 years ago today, June 9th, 1973. All right, continue our team coverage of the fallout from the nuclear war on social media last week between the world's richest man and the world's most powerful man. Joining us live from Bloomberg News, it's Laura Davidson. Laura, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
So this morning, I noticed there might be a little thaw, at least on Elon Musk's Twitter feed. He reposted a couple of Truth Socials from President Trump. But President Trump over the weekend in an interview with NBC said that Musk will have very serious consequences if he starts funding Democratic candidates. What did the president say in this interview, and what's been the reaction on Capitol Hill?
Yeah, so the president has, really, kind of kept up his guard here in this Elon Musk feud. Musk over the weekend has softened a little bit, has been, reposting some of the president's positions. But Trump said that he, has no plans to speak with Musk. There were some reports late last week that there might be a call. That has so far not yet happened. And one of the things that Musk has talked about and said repeatedly is he's potentially looking at cutting off Elon Musk's contracts with the federal government. Those are worth billions of dollars, particularly to Musk's SpaceX company, and could really represent a huge business risk to him if Trump were to go in and cancel those.
Is that a reality that the president could just unilaterally 86 any of the Musk contracts with the federal government?
It's a little bit harder said than done. There are some protections in place. The government potentially would have to pay some large breakup fees here. The other risk here is that there are no other companies that can really do at this time what SpaceX does in terms of some of these rocket launches. So that would, of course, put NASA and the Defense Department, at a very much a strategic, a disadvantage here. There are other companies that are trying to do that. Lockheed Martin has a unified launch initiative, as well as Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin. But those just don't have the capacity. So this is right now just a threat. But Trump is in a very good position to inflict some pain on Musk or his companies if he would like to.
Yeah, I mean, he took Musk, that is, took a huge financial hit with the Tesla stock last week after that feud. Now, once the president gave those harsh warnings to Elon Musk about backing Democratic candidates, I saw, and I don't know if this is a thing or not, but I saw people on social media say that could be a violation of campaign finance laws or election interference. Are they barking up a wrong tree, or is that a possibility that he might have overstepped?
It's possible. This gets into a lot of, overlapping and legal gray area here of you have, both the First Amendment as well as campaign finance laws, election interference. As you mentioned, there's a lot here. And so the facts and circumstances of what happened really, really matter. But it's important to note that Republicans were really relying on Musk and his support in the midterms and potentially in 2028 as well. So they have an incentive to come back to the table and maybe make nice with Musk in the future. He was the largest campaign donor during 2024 election, donated almost $300 million to Trump and other Republicans. So there is an incentive if Trump decides that he needs this money, that he may come up with some sort of uneasy peace with Musk here.
Final question for you, Laura. This all started, this tete-a-tete between Musk and Trump, because of Musk opposing the budget bill. Where do we stand on the budget bill, and what should we be watching for this weekend?
The Senate is back in Washington. They are hoping to put out a draft of this bill as soon as this weekend. They really need to do that if they want to meet the president's July 4th deadline to pass the legislation. There's still a bunch of issues that they have not yet agreed on, including some of these renewable energy tax credits, electric vehicle tax credits, Medicare, Medicaid funding. Those are all thorny issues that are yet to be resolved, so they'll be hashing those out at the Capitol this week.
Laura covers politics for Bloomberg News. Laura Davidson, as always, appreciate your time.
Thanks so much.
There you go. Updating that story out of Vegas that Vinny apparently followed the guy on social media that got shot. Now getting reports, Deborah, that there are 2 people dead after that shooting in front of the Bellagio fountains on the Vegas Strip. KLAS TV reporter James Schaefer from Vegas.
Police found 2 people suffering from gunshot wounds. The alleged gunman gone. Police immediately attempted to save the victims' lives, but they did die on scene. Metro Under Sheriff Andrew Walsh added police already believe they know how the alleged gunman knew the victims in this shooting.
The suspect and the victim had previously engaged in some type of conflict using a variety of social media platforms.
Now, police say they do not have that alleged gunman in custody.
Oh, they do not have him in custody. All right, so I guess there's a manhunt going on, getting more information. But again, this was all live streamed, Deborah. What kind of world are we living in? What kind of world are we living in?
Well, I mean, there's cameras everywhere, right? No
Yeah,
matter
but
where you go, there's a camera everywhere.
Understood. A security camera, not a guy on YouTube going, hey, I'm going to go shoot this guy. Anyway, could this impact hotel prices in Las Vegas? Will they come down? Is Bellagio going to be like, hey, you get a buy one, get one deal? Since the guy's got, no, I don't know. All right, news, weather, and traffic in just 3 minutes. When we come back, we'll continue our team coverage of the protests turning violent in L.A. Stacey Lynn from CBS will join us live next. Social medias are active throughout the broadcast at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Man's best friend, loyal, trustworthy, dependable. Aw, that's Rufus, the bulldog, the chief barking officer for Findlay Roofing. The Roof guys. Dave Baker here. For over 30 years, Findlay Roofing's been your roof's best friend. Loyal with a lifetime warranty, trustworthy with upfront pricing, and dependable with the highest quality work. When it comes to your roof, think of Rufus and Findlay first. 0% financing available. FindlayRoofing.com.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now. 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Back by popular demand, D. Geller & Son Jewelers Watches and Whiskey event is this weekend, June 13th through 15th at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, where we're celebrating summer and Father's Day by bringing in an incredible variety of new and pre-owned luxury Swiss timepieces. And while you're browsing, enjoy complimentary whiskey tastings thanks to Old Fourth Distillery, and get a free whiskey gift set with your purchase. It's this weekend, June 13th through 15th. Learn more at dgeller.com.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 11 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. More traffic headaches for you today as Georgia DOT crews are continuing emergency repairs to the Buford Spring Connector on-ramp to I-85 northbound.
Crews have been out all morning long, and they were able to open at least the left lane of that ramp. But as we've watched throughout the morning and throughout this process, is that they've had to shut the ramp down to move equipment around, move workers in and out. So I wouldn't count on that ramp staying open.
That is Smiling Mark McKay. He says there is no timeline from the DOT yet on when the repairs might be complete. In the meantime, he suggests using Cheshire Bridge or Piedmont roads as alternates. All right, the sun this morning will give way to clouds and storms this afternoon, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She says some of the storms could be severe with hail and dangerous winds. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. Watch your speed in Gwinnett County and the school zones there as summer school is underway. Gwinnett County Police warning drivers that speed cameras will be operating again at 10 different summer school locations within the county. Lower speed limits will be enforced between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. outside elementary schools, and then between 9 and 3 p.m. near middle schools. The speed zones are clearly marked, and cameras will catch drivers going 11 miles per hour or more over the speed limit, so you want to let up on the gas in those areas. In DeKalb County, they're kicking off a new project to replace aging water pipes along a busy road work.
This time, DeKalb Watershed says it'll spend 6 months replacing more than a mile of iron water pipes along College Avenue between Sam's Crossing and Lakeshore Drive east of Decatur. Crews are hoping to finish up the work in December, but that could change if there are any weather delays. They'll be working overnight Sunday through Friday from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. That project's part of DeKalb's $4.2 billion capital improvement program to renovate water infrastructure countywide. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
A new travel ban is now in effect. It bans citizens from 12 countries from visiting the U.S. Travelers from 7 others would also face restrictions. Matt Rivers has more this morning from Mexico City.
What the Trump administration is saying here is that these are countries with either a history of terrorism, whether they have histories of high rates of visa overstays. These are countries that were investigated by the State Department and found to be worthy of being included in this ban. Of course, there's going to be challenges in court, just like we saw during the first Trump administration.
All right, so where are you going for summer vacation, or are you going anywhere? Well, Atlanta is among the top 10 cities to plan a staycation this summer. Wallet Hub says that the city comes in at number 9 on this year's list, the website ranking Atlanta number 1 when it comes to ice cream and frozen yogurt shops per capita. It also ranks toward the top when it comes to pools and parks. Cincinnati, Orlando, and Las Vegas are the top 5 of this year's survey for families who want to stay close to home. And now let's talk about your money. An average wage is not enough to live comfortably in the United States. According to financial tech company Smart Asset, the median wage is about $62,000 a year, but you would need nearly $81,000 to live comfortably in West Virginia, which is the most affordable state in this study. In Georgia, they say we would need to earn just under $100,000 a year. A family of 4 would need to make about $210,000. Living comfortably in this case is defined as spending half your income on essentials like food and rent, 20% towards savings and then paying off debt, and then another 30% for whatever you want. All right, let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 93 at 42,669. NASDAQ is currently in positive territory, so is the S&P. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams has a look at the roads.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Already getting interesting on the south side where we've had some rain move through. Crash just pushed off to the right in Stockbridge, 75 southbound, right at the 675 merge, so that'll help out the delays that start just before Highway 138. Now, if you're heading northbound up toward Morrow on I-75, looks like a new crash right at the bridge, the Mount Zion Boulevard Bridge. That's exit 231 on 75 northbound. We'll see what lanes are blocked there. And they're still holding the right lane with this stall downtown, 7585 northbound University Avenue, exit 244. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly to mostly cloudy through the afternoon with widespread rain showers and thunderstorms, some of which may be strong to severe with damaging wind gusts, could knock down trees and power lines. Today's high is 83. The storms fizzle out around midnight, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 84.
It is 80 degrees right now in Alpharetta. Beaufort has 78, and it's 79 here in Midtown Atlanta. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
No, I run this town to be near you.
11:04 on an extremely shocking, busy Newsday Monday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. Still to come, we'll update our top local stories. Abrego Garcia is back in the United States. We'll detail what lays ahead for him in the court system. In the meantime, though, we're continuing our coverage of the top story of the day.
A number of people stayed around and unfortunately were committing violence, in the form of defacing buildings, throwing bottles, throwing cans. And that's just unacceptable.
Unacceptable indeed. That's Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass talking about the protests that turned violent starting Friday night through the weekend in L.A. Continue our team coverage. Joining us from CBS News, Stacey Lynn. Stacey, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Of course. Good morning.
One of the big angles of these not-so-peaceful protests, President Trump sending in the National Guard. First time in 60 years, President sending in National Guard without a request from the state's governor. What are we hearing in D.C. about this request?
Yeah, this was an old law that the president decided to enact. If there's a rebellion or a threat of a rebellion or a threat to national security, the president can call in federal service members or members of the National Guard, and that's exactly what Trump says is happening. He says the National Guard was needed because of numerous incidents of violence and disorder. And this is causing a lot of strife within with the officials within the city, like you just talked about, Karen Bass, the mayor, but also Governor Newsom as well. And he is formally asking the Trump administration to pull those troops out. He said that we didn't have a problem until Trump got involved. He said this is a serious breach of state sovereignty. He called the deployment purposefully inflammatory. Karen Bass, the mayor as well, says that it was a chaotic escalation, and now she's encouraging residents to peacefully protest and not play into the administration's hands. So many are suggesting, Mark, that the president is purposefully trying to incite this chaos to validate his deportation efforts. Of course, the White House pushing back on that.
Stacey, the president also put forth the idea of sending not just National Guard troops, but active duty Marines to L.A.
Yeah.
Is that going to come to fruition?
Well, yeah, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth warned that over the weekend. He said hundreds of Marines could also be deployed if the violence doesn't stop. And U.S. military confirming to CBS News this morning that indeed 500 active duty Marines are kind of prepared. They're on standby if ordered to do so. Not exactly sure if the president intends to follow through on that. He's expected back at the White House from Camp David within the hour. So hopefully we'll get a chance to speak with him, and maybe he'll address reporters this morning, and we can ask what his intentions are and if he's going to listen to Governor Newsom and Mayor Karen Bass and pull the troops out or continue with his efforts there. I don't believe he's going to pull the troops out, as he's stating that this is, in fact, what he needs to do as a matter of national security.
Stacey, we see these protests break out usually over the weekends, and then when Monday hits, everyone gets back to work and things calm down. Do we have any idea what's going to happen Monday through Friday now in L.A. with these protests?
We don't, and we know that there are other protests that are planned for today, and the fact that they were, lined up outside of federal government buildings and even a jail in downtown Los Angeles indicates that I don't think that this is the end of it. I don't think it's going to be, busy weekend and then quiet during the week at all, especially with the president jumping in and the tensions even escalating even more now between the Trump administration and, obviously the Democratic governor of California.
Yeah, everything political these days. Stacey Lynn, CBS News. Stacey, if you hear from the president today, please keep us posted.
I will, absolutely.
There you go. Thanks for your time. Stacey Lynn, CBS News in Washington. All right, so more planned protests today. I don't know, Deborah. Historically, at least here in Atlanta, right, we'd have these big weekend protests, and then by Monday it's like, all right, we got to go to work, or
everyone went back to doing
everything
whatever they
calms
had to do,
down. So, all right, so CBS News confirming from Pete Hegseth that 500 Marines are standing by and will be deployed if needed. Obviously a big story, and we'll provide updates throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. I just saw this story. I'm going to shift gears for a second, Deborah, on AJC.com. It's a column by Michael Cunningham, great sports reporter there. And the headline is The Top 10 Athletes in Georgia Right Now. So first off, Vinny, you're into sports. Let me ask you, top 10 athletes in Georgia. Who would you say is the best athlete in Georgia right now? Professional, college, what have you?
Acuna.
Acuna. Good job, Vinny.
Yeah.
Did you read the story?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he's number one. Just coming off, his second knee surgery. Michael Cunningham has Braves outfielder Ronald Acuna Jr. at number one. Good job, Vin. 10th, Deborah. I'm not familiar with this name, but you probably do. Atlanta United forward Emmanuel Latte Loth.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
He's 10th. Falcons quarterback Michael Penix Jr. is 9th. Georgia Tech quarterback Haynes King turns in 8th. 7th is Hawks guard Dyson Daniels. 6th, Hawks forward Jalen Johnson. 5th, Dream guard Alicia Gray. 4th, yeah, you know her?
I love her game.
Oh, her game. Okay. Vinny's got game. 4th is Falcons running back Bijan Robinson. 3rd, Atlanta Hawks point guard Trey Young. 2nd is Braves pitcher Chris Sale. And as Vinny mentioned, number 1, Braves outfielder Ronald Acuna Jr. The only reason I bring this up is because I don't think Vinny knows about the survey we did, Deborah, back in the day. So, Vinny, we polled 100 WSB radio employees and asked them, of all the people that work here, who is the best athlete in WSB Radio Land and who is the worst athlete in WSB Radio Land. We'll start with who our coworkers thought was the best athlete at WSB Radio. Who would you pick?
That's a good one.
It's tough. You not a lot of athletic folk
yourself,
around here.
Vinny.
Well, Vinny, this was pre. This was pre-Vinny.
This is pre-Vin.
Yeah.
Deborah might be up there.
Former gymnast. Yeah. I don't even remember
might be
who won that Family Feud survey. Who did WSB? Who did our coworker say was the best athlete? I think
Dr. Joe.
No. You hush.
I bet I could find
Yamamoto? Was it Yamamoto, maybe?
No, I don't think it was Yamamoto.
I don't know. I think I came in the top 3, Vin, as a former Division. Loti Chuck was a former Division I track star. But
we're saying in their prime.
Yeah, or right now, whatever. I mean, it was just like, who's the best athlete at WSB Radio? All right, so on the flip side of the coin, Vin, we also asked our coworkers who was the worst athlete at WSB Radio. Who do you think our coworker said was the worst? Alex Williams? I don't think so. You ready?
That would have been better.
It was a tie for worst, Vinny, between, you ready? Dr. Joe and Andrew Longoria. Longo got voted.
Don't you think that I'm a little bit more athletic than Dr. Joe is?
He's in better shape.
I'm sure you
He's
are.
in better shape, yeah, but I think I'm more athletic than he is.
I don't know. We'll see.
Let's have a basketball off.
Well, I mean, 5K. He's got you in a 5K.
Yeah. Anything running or walking, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go, Vin. That was
what
fun.
about Clark?
Clark Howard?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's in better shape, but this is not shape. It's athletic prowess, right?
Right.
I think Judd's like 6'5". He probably got some votes.
Oh God, yeah. Judd is a good pick.
Anyway, Deborah's going to go through the files. All I know is that
I found some.
Our colleague said that Longoria and Dr. Joe were tied for the worst.
Yeah, your name, Mike Shields, Low T. I found a couple of them.
Mike
are the
Shields?
ones that kind of popped up. Shelly was on the bottom.
The fact that Shelly beat me should not even be there.
Why do I want to say
Who else on there?
Yamamoto?
Ashley came in because she's a tennis player.
Yeah, I give
Yeah.
Ashley up.
All right, there you go. All right, thanks. Deborah's going through the archives there.
Yep.
I do want to update a big international story. U.S.-China trade talks resume today in London, and there is a lot riding on them. CBS's Elaine Cobb has more.
China says its exports to the U.S. fell nearly 35% last month compared with the same time last year. That as Chinese and U.S. negotiators meet in London today to talk trade. China has a near monopoly on rare earth exports, which gives it a strong bargaining chip. But analysts say the new figures show the U.S. tariffs are taking a toll. Elaine Cobb, CBS News.
I want a list of what these rare earth elements are. Like, do we not have them in the United States? Are these just in Asia and Europe? You know, because we had the big hullabaloo about the rare earths mineral deal with Ukraine. What do they have that we don't have? How does China have these? How do we not have these? Is it just
Different type of dirt.
geological differences between the continents? I mean, we're all one big continent at one point, Pangea. There you go. I just stole Longoria's fact today. We were all Pangea at one point. What are these minerals that, or are we just not looking in the right spots for them?
We just haven't found them here.
Yeah, or you're like, oh, let them mine it. This is too much hassle. Is that what this is? I gotta imagine. I'm just Arkansas. That to me is a state that's probably got a lot of rare earth minerals.
Well, they got all those diamonds there,
Exactly.
don't they?
Yeah. See, well, are we not looking? We got to rely on China and Ukraine for rare earth minerals. But anyway, the big telling number there was the 35% drop in exports from China to the United States. That is a significant drop. One more international story. President Trump's travel ban on several countries takes effect today. CBS News reporter Torian Small says a recent poll shows support for the policies.
What we found in our CBS poll is that more people believe that Donald Trump's mass deportation plan is actually making Americans safer. That was a stark contrast to a previous consensus from Americans around just how aggressive Donald Trump has been in immigration enforcement. I should also note that while the majority in our poll approves of the president's immigration programs, a similar majority disapproves of the way he's going about it.
Interesting. In case you forgot the list of the countries that are impacted with the ban, Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, the Republic of Congo, Equatorial Guinea. Is that different from regular Guinea? Are there two
Yes.
Guineas?
Yes.
Oh, all right. I just stole another fact of the day. Equatorial Guinea, I can't pronounce that country. Eritrea. Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. Partial restrictions impact people from Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, Turkmenistan, which is a real country, and Venezuela. So there you go. They all go into effect today. And don't forget, most importantly, if you are planning to go one of those countries or anywhere via air travel, your Costco ID card is not a verified, valid, smart ID, even though it's got that gold star on it. All right, Vinny's already ticked off our traffic reporter, Alex Williams, calling him the worst athlete in the building. Alex is a golfer. He does daily walks.
This is my first time hearing any of this.
Yeah, and he's anyway. I've got your back, Alex Williams.
I'll have to run some circles around Vinny if I have to. Dealing with some trouble right now in Morrow, Mark, where it had been raining. Crash on the right lane, 75 northbound, Mount Zion Boulevard, exit 231. Southbound had a crash right at I-675 there in Stockbridge. That has since cleared, and watching a pretty good rain shower right now along I-20 into DeKalb County, causing some wet pavement delays in the work zone on I-20 between 285 and Panola Road, exit 71. Traffic brought to you by Extreme Experience. Give Dad the ultimate driving experience in a Ferrari, Lamborghini, or Porsche on a real racetrack. Extreme Experience hits Atlanta Motorsports Park July 10th through 13th. Save 25% for Father's Day. ExtremeExperience.com. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Everyone has an opinion.
We have become an idiotic nation that doesn't know how to even debate anything, so it doesn't surprise
Eric
me.
Von Hessler has an opinion.
You will still age.
And some advice.
Start doing things when you're younger. Drink a lot of water.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
And you will still die.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Going back to college, I have sent my father Omaha steaks for Father's Day because who doesn't love steak? Dads love steak. A recent survey showed 75% of Americans agree There's no better way than to spend Father's Day than grilling with the family. Dads love to grill. I remember some great memories as a kid of my dad grilling, and now I do. And I get him Omaha Steaks, and you can too. Shop omahasteaks.com and give your dad the legendary Heartland quality he deserves. Plus, my listeners get an extra $35 off when you put Eric in, E-R-I-C-K, as your promo code at checkout. Unbelievable quality from Omaha Steaks. I am a longtime gift giver of Omaha Steaks. My dad loves Omaha Steaks. Your dad will too. Go to omahasteaks.com, load up your cart with deliciousness, get $35 off, minimum order required, when you use promo code ERIC at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com. You'll get an extra $35 off with promo code ERIC at checkout. Your dad will love you for it.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer with experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Hi, it's Wes Moss. May's mayhem is behind us, and June is in full bloom. Spring brings milestones like graduations, weddings, and even new homes. It's also a time when you might be thinking about retirement. If that's you, visit our team at Capital Investment Advisors. We'll work with you to craft an income-focused portfolio designed to deliver a reliable paycheck in retirement. Get started at yourwealth.com. That's Y-O-U-R wealth.com.
Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. Look, I know what's important to you when you're having some additions done to your house. You want the work done with quality workmanship, on time, within your budget, and built correctly. That's why I love Ben Hill Renovations, my deck experts. Getting a new deck from Ben Hill Renovations checks all the boxes. They've been building decks for over 60 years. Every project comes with a dedicated project manager and is properly built with future county and city code requirements in mind. Plus, Ben Hill Renovations offers many options, different styles, types of wood, color, and finishes. They can also build screened-in porches, outdoor living areas, multi-story wraparounds, pretty much anything you can imagine Ben Hill Renovations can do. And they're all backed by the Ben Hill Workmanship Warranty. Set up a design consultation or swing by the new Ben Hill Renovations showroom in Douglasville and talk to one of their designers, or see them on the web at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell, and for over a decade, I've trusted America's best choice for windows, doors, siding, and decks.
Spring is the perfect time to update your home, and America's Best Choice makes it easy with these spring specials. Highest quality, energy-efficient windows starting at just $299. Take 10% off a new deck and create the outdoor oasis of your dreams. No pressure, no gimmicks. Visit abcwin.com today to schedule your free consultation.
Getting engaged? At Shane Company, we'll help you find the perfect diamond. This is your engagement ring, aka only your life's most important piece of jewelry. No need to worry. As gemstone experts since 1929, we handpick only the most beautiful natural and lab-grown diamonds cut to our high standards in every price range. We have diamonds in all shapes and sizes, ready to compare side by side right here in our store. Come see for yourself at Shanco.com or at your local store. No appointment necessary. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey y'all, Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care, and I'm not going to cry in this commercial, I hope. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I am so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. It's all because of the incredible caregivers who came to see them every day. I am so grateful to Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company that vets and hires every single one of their caregiving specialists. They don't have contractors. They're not some national corporation. They are simply the best here in Georgia. And a lot of you have asked me about my journey and if home care is right for your aging parents. I'll tell you what I tell them. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
To Jurassic Park. Sorry for the poor audio quality. That's Richard Attenborough kicking off the Jurassic Park premiere. 32 years ago today, the film premiered. I hate to be that guy. I'm rarely this guy. But as much as I love the movie, the book was actually better. Don't you hate people that say that? Yeah, the book is the book was better than the movie. Richard Attenborough, he's in his 90s. He's still alive. We all wish to achieve the longevity that Sir Richard Attenborough has come up with. And now experts say 3 ways you can tell if you are going to live a long, healthy life. This might roll over into our most or least athletic WSB radio employer, Deborah. What are the 3 things that experts say portend a long, healthy life?
Yeah, well, if you can do these things, it means you're going to age a little bit better. So can you balance on one leg, kind of stand like a flamingo, they're saying, for at least 30 seconds without tipping over, putting your other foot down. If you can do that for 30 seconds, that's a good indicator.
I'm doing that right now. You can watch live at WSBradio.com. You said eyes open? What does that matter?
You can, because some people will close their eyes, it helps them focus, but if you keep your eyes open, it actually is more distracting and you'll lose your balance, so you'd want to keep your eyes open.
I'm raising the roof. This is no problem. I could do this for an hour.
Both feet?
Because I'm very... Oh, you want me to switch up?
I mean, can you? Usually
yeah.
people have a dominant leg.
Well, with my quads, they're both dominant. So
you are one of the best athletes. So.
Sorry, so yeah, I can do that. All right, that's where I think I'm going to fall off the cliff. I think that might be the last one I can do.
This other one's a little bit harder. It's talking about a grip test, and you actually need something that could, test the strength of your grip. But if it's easy for you to open up like tight jars,
yes,
that's a little indicator. For me, it is not. So I do not have a good grip. That one's hard for me.
Okay.
And the last one, I wish I was there to do this. It was, can you sit down on the floor and stand up without using your hands as any type of brace?
Maya
can do that. So you can't put your hands down, and you can't use them to stand up again.
So you sit down and, all right.
Can you get on your knees?
No, like sitting down like...
Or you just have to like
crisscross applesauce?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I'm down on the
you
ground.
Can't use your hands at all.
Oh,
or
yeah.
the mic.
No, Mark.
Nope, no mic, nothing. You'd have to
I don't...
straight core balance. I've done this before. I'm trying to find it.
I promise you, here are my hands, Longoria. I'm not doing anything. Nope, not going to happen.
No.
No. All right.
It is not easy.
2 out of 3 ain't bad. That's better than I thought. I bet Dr. Joe can do all 3 and Longoria can't.
I can do 2 of them.
You can
I don't know about
them.
the sitting up.
Well, I ate a lot
That
of
one
food
is
this
hard.
weekend.
That one's hard.
I think that I had a lot of food, so that is tough. Speaking of food, Deborah, I need you to be the moral compass in my life.
Uh-oh.
Real quick, so I love Bambinelli's,
Yeah.
Italian
Yeah,
joint. Maya and I ordered off Uber Eats, and their portions are so big.
Oh, yeah.
Maya and I well, let's just split the chicken parm dinner. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. But then on the Uber Eats, I was like, I got a hankering for fettuccine Alfredo. So I ordered the kids' portion of fettuccine Alfredo. I have no children. Is that bad?
Why is that bad?
Because isn't kids menu just for kids?
No.
No?
I mean, if it's smaller portions,
Yeah, it was
right?
just I just wanted I didn't want a full-size portion of fettuccine Alfredo. I felt guilty.
I don't feel like there's anything wrong with
No?
a smaller portion. If you know you're not going to be able to finish the whole thing, why would you want all of that to go to waste, right? You're just going to throw it away. So just get the smaller portion.
Yeah. I mean, it was delicious. And I did shout out Bambinelli. So I felt bad, though. I had a little, I was like, it's a kid's
I use my kids for that all the time. Like if we don't want a big meal, just
yeah.
let me
All right. It was delicious. Yeah. All right. Shout out Bambinelli's. Great Italian food, huge portions. All right. Sabrina's got your news, weather, and traffic. When we come back, John Baird from KNX in LA covering the protests that turned violent over the weekend and what we might expect today and moving forward. John Baird joins us next on the Mark Arum Show. Social medias are active throughout the broadcast at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Business fraud is on the rise. Is your bank helping you make a plan to detect and prevent it? I'm Brian Parks, head of commercial banking in Atlanta for Ameris Bank. Our local bankers are here to guide your company and make recommendations for your business, including fraud prevention tools like Positive Pay. This month, we're even offering an on-demand fraud prevention webinar for businesses like yours. To view the webinar and learn more about how we can help you protect your business, visit amerisbank.com/businessmonth. Ameris Bank, fiercely yours, member FDIC.
The big focus in America today is on your health, and more people looking beyond pills and steroids and surgery. Hey, it's Mark Aaron for QC Kinetics. At QC Kinetics, they've been on the cutting edge of this medical revolution since 2018. Using regenerative medicine, they have helped tens of thousands of people get lasting joint pain relief using natural treatments that harness your body's own healing power. The truth is, regenerative medicine used to be an alternative treatment. Now it's mainstream, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader. They're well-respected protocols include potent and powerful cellular-level treatments to revitalize and restore damaged joint tissue. They're not masking the pain. They're going after the very source of it. Yes, you can say goodbye to that chronic pain and live your best life. Learn more about this revolutionary treatment and get a free consultation. Call QC Kinetics now. 770-285-8026. 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026.
What you walk on in your home should be wonderful.
Hi, I'm Michael, proud founder of Authentic Hardwood Flooring. Your summer vacation is going to be awesome, but coming home to those floors won't be. While you're gone, let our highly trained installers transform your space. Just imagine coming home to beautiful new floors. Our promise is to make your flooring process painless. Our focus is to make it perfect.
Authentic Hardwood Flooring offers high-quality craftsmanship with an exceptional customer experience. AuthenticHardwoodFlooring.com.
When you need quality professional tree work, choose Heath Tree Service. Hi, I'm Jimmy Heath. My father started Heath Tree Service over 60 years ago, and we're still family owned. Certified arborists and experts with trees. Find us at heathtreeservice.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. New this half hour, a warning about the Asian needle ant here in Georgia. There have been more reports of these ants stinging people. The ant injects venom that can harm you. In fact, its sting can be life-threatening.
Last year, I fielded 3 questions from people who were stung by this ant and wound up in the hospital because of anaphylaxis. Anaphylaxis is a life-threatening response to the venom of this ant when they sting.
Entomologist Dan Suter says the ant was first detected here in Georgia back in the 1930s, but it wasn't really studied until around 20 years ago after it spread. The ants are all up and down the East Coast now. Another round of storms expected across the metro Atlanta area today.
Yeah, pop-up storms will develop after 2 o'clock, and these storms will likely produce some damaging winds that can knock down a few more trees and power lines. So be aware that severe weather is still in the forecast for today.
And that is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. We are taking a look at WSB Storm Tracker radar. Some showers and thunderstorm activity already popping up on radar around the Decatur area right now. Work underway on emergency repairs on the Buford Spring Connector, and this could impact your drives. Mark McKay says it all started on Friday.
There were some cracks that developed, and when emergency repairs are in place, they shut things down for safety reasons, and yes, it caused a huge jam.
So he says drivers should take Cheshire Bridge or 7585 to get to 85 North. The Georgia Department of Transportation says there is progress being made on the crack, but no word on when the repairs will be completed. So keep it here. We'll help you navigate around it. In Los Angeles, cleanup efforts are underway right now in some areas from the weekend protest. Sunday, anti-ICE demonstrators intensified as the National Guard arrived to stop them, police arresting dozens of protesters. Correspondent Scott McFarland has more.
There's another layer to this, and it exists here in Washington, D.C., where there remains outrage over those mass pardons for the violence against police January 6, 2021. The pardoning of 1,500 plus January 6 defendants, about 600 of whom were accused of beating police officers, about a quarter of whom pleaded guilty.
And as protesters clash with immigration agents on the West Coast, officials here in Georgia say their operations are moving at a rapid pace.
Homeland Security Investigations Special Agent in Charge Stephen Schrank says they've made thousands of arrests in recent months here in Georgia.
I fully expect that pace and posture will continue to increase over the coming weeks and months as we continue to increase our resources, capacity, and efficiencies in these operations.
He says they're using a variety of tactics, from targeted operations, worksite enforcement, and working in partnership with local police agencies. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
U.S. trade officials are meeting with their Chinese counterparts in London. The talks are aimed at resolving the ongoing trade dispute between the world's 2 largest economies. Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is down 101 at 42,661. NASDAQ is currently up, and the S&P is in positive territory. Time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. It is brought to you by Finley Roofing. Alex Williams has a look at your roads.
And Sabrina, been watching some of those showers in the DeKalb, Decatur area. They've stretched over to I-20, hit some of the I-20, 285 interchange there in DeKalb, where they've been, where it's that big construction zone, as well as a few rain showers over on the west side, 285 in the Smyrna Vinings area. We still have this trouble on the south side. It just moved off to the right, though. 75 northbound Mount Zion Boulevard, exit 231, delays improving there. And I'm watching the jam cam. They do have that ramp from the Beaufort Spring connector to 85 northbound shut down. So stick with 85 northbound coming up through downtown as an alternative. If you're already on the Beaufort Spring connector, you go up to Cheshire Bridge Lennox Road, take a right there. You can hop on 85 north. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Partly to mostly cloudy with scattered thunderstorms today, some of which may be strong to severe with damaging wind gusts that can knock down more trees and power lines. Today's high is 83. The rain ends after midnight, lows tonight in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, high 84.
And we do see some scattered showers on WSB Storm Tracker radar. It's 81 degrees right now in Sandy Springs. Fayetteville has 79. It's 81 in Swanee. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid. 95.5 WSB.
Tuesday on Atlanta's Morning News, the latest from L.A., our 5-day forecast, and Clark Howard on fighting higher hospital bills on 95.5 WSB.
An act of violence, whether toward officers, demonstrators, or the public, will be met with swift and lawful action. Our goal is to maintain order without escalating conflict.
That's the chief of the L.A. Police Department, Jim McDonald. Coming up next, the latest from the streets of L.A. 2 minutes away on the Mark Arum Show.
Only inches separate you from the heavy rain pounding on your roof. Dave Baker, host of the Home Fix-It Show, here for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Water is your home's #1 enemy, and your roof is your front line of defense to stop it from getting inside. Has your old roof finally lost the battle against all this recent heavy rain? If water has made its way into your home, think of Findlay first. They've replaced over 65,000 roofs locally, all with high-quality work, upfront pricing, and exceptional service. You'll always win with Findlay. You'll never have to worry about them cutting corners. With over 30 years of experience, Findlay goes the distance. They're the extra effort experts, making sure you have a remarkable roof experience. Are you seeing water inside or just not sure how well your roof is holding up after all this recent rain? Schedule a free roof analysis. No obligation, no charge. FindlayRoofing.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Motorcycle riders know that a distracted driver can knock you down. It's nice to know that Steel Horse Law can pick you back up. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler for Steel Horse Law, the Stein and Karen Law Group. In the worst possible scenario, when someone causes you to lay your bike down, Steel Horse Law will get you the best possible settlement. Their name strikes fear in the heart of big insurance companies because Steel Horse Law is respected and will make them pay. Visit steelhorselaw.com.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2, ox, a camel, and a kangaroo.
10:37 on this Monday edition of the Mark Arum Show. I'm sad. We have no tickets to give away today. Is this a blip in the radar, or are we ticketless the rest of the week, Deborah?
It's summer vacation, so like everybody is out.
Summertime. Now, I was about to say, I'll give away a Mark Arum Show smartphone stand, but I forgot. I gave one away like a couple months ago, and I forgot to mail it to the dude. So probably best not if I give away anything. I'm still working with the promotions department. I want to give away free AC units. during the summer, like the window units, not the big hunking things, but we'll work on that. All right, so no prize today, but maybe it'll return tomorrow. All right, continue our team coverage of the devaluation of the protests in L.A. starting over the weekend. Joining us from KNX in L.A., reporter John Baird. John, always great to have you on the show, my friend.
Hey, good morning.
Give us a timeline. I totally tuned out of the news this weekend. I didn't even know what was going on in L.A. When did this all start, and why did it start?
It started on Friday because of enforcement action, by the feds, immigration enforcement action. People were upset. Protests started Friday. People were getting detained, and then the protests, kind of got out of hand in some situations. Now, I know that on Saturday, I was working on Saturday, and they had a big demonstration down in Paramount, which is probably about a 25-minute drive southeast of downtown L.A. Protesters there were upset because they thought that ICE was detaining people, day laborers at a Home Depot store. And I'll tell you what, I got caught in the middle of that. Flashbang grenades were going off and tear gas as the authorities were trying to push the protesters back. Got really ugly. That was on Saturday, continued into the evening. And then yesterday, downtown L.A., it just crazy again. 1,000 protesters marched over from Boyle Heights on the east side of L.A. here to downtown Los Angeles, battling police. The 101 freeway was shut down. There were protesters on the freeway. They were throwing things at the CHP officers. And right here near Union Station in downtown L.A., I'm on a side street, Los Angeles Street, and there are these clumps of metal that used to be those Waymo driverless taxis that were set on fire, and they just let them burn because they were worried about toxic gases from the lithium-ion batteries. Let me tell you, they must have burned hot because there's not much left of any of them, just clumps of metal in the street, probably 5 or 6 of them.
6:42 in the morning in L.A. Calm on the streets right now?
Calm on the streets right now. When I drove in here a couple of hours ago, obviously it was still dark. There were law enforcement vehicles all over the downtown area, and it looked like they were concentrating on protecting, City Hall, the government buildings, the federal buildings, the courthouse, that area there. They were all over the place. Streets were blocked off, and I walked around a little while ago. There's graffiti everywhere, but they're expecting more protests again today.
John Baird from KNX joining us live in L.A. on the Mark Arum Show. President Trump, for the first time in 60 years, sent in the National Guard without being asked by the governor. How is that falling in L.A.?
Well, I've read comments that the governor has made, and I think the mayor as well of Los Angeles, and I mean, they're not happy that the president took these actions. They think it just will inflame things, make things worse. I think that they have called, actually, they have the National Guard, recalled, but instead we're hearing that they may send in 500 Marines to bolster the National Guard. So I haven't seen any National Guard members this morning yet. Who knows? They could be blocks away from here. But I am seeing a pretty heavy police presence in downtown Los Angeles today, all over the place.
I've been playing some audio from Jim McDonnell, the chief of police of the L.A. Police Department. Does it sound like law enforcement in L.A. and L.A. County that they want help from the National Guard and or the Marines, or do they think they have things under control?
Well, that's actually a very good question, and I haven't talked to the chief today, but it sounded like they were kind of overwhelmed last night. And I think they had requested help from the Sheriff's Department. This morning, again, what I saw was LAPD and the LA Sheriff's Department with vehicles everywhere spread out in this relatively small area that I'm in downtown between City Hall and the federal building and the courthouse and the Hall of Justice and the county administration building, kind of a big, 6 or 8 block area. But I don't know if they needed the National Guard. I know, again, that the governor thought that they did not need to be called in and was upset that they were brought in.
John, I know these protests are bubbling up around these detention centers around the L.A. area. Hearing from the mayor and the governor that they've enacted the Unlawful Assembly Area Act, which I would assume that means like these areas are off limits if you want to protest peacefully. Is that something you've seen before in your coverage of L.A.?
I don't recall them ever doing that. I know that at that federal building, and I was there Saturday before I went to Paramount to see the Home Depot thing. I know that this is where on Friday the people that ICE were targeting were brought into this detention center here, and they had Congress people here, they had protesters here trying to get information. They couldn't get anything. This morning, there are just a bunch of law enforcement vehicles around the building. By the way, it's been tagged. I mean, there are graffiti everywhere on that building. But as far as I can tell, I don't think you'd be able to get very close.
What's the level of concern for folks in, say, Malibu or Hermosa Beach? Like, is it just the areas that we're seeing these protests, or is there, widespread concern throughout the county?
Are you talking about widespread protests everywhere, or are you talking about
just the concern? Are they, folks in areas that have not yet seen the protests, are they worried that they might spread to their areas as well?
Haven't talked to people in those areas, and I live down by the beach. I think there's just concern overall about what's going on, about the National Guard being called in over the objections of the governor, and wondering where this is all headed. I mean, the Marines coming in, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest concern is, I guess the feds really, putting the hammer down and trying to put an end to this.
Obviously, the protest, the big story there, peaceful into violent, and we've heard reports of looting. But then the next layer of the story is what's going to happen with the National Guard troops and the Marines. John Baird, KNX, live in L.A. John, as always, appreciate your time, my friend.
All right. Thank you.
That was John this morning in the 9 o'clock hour, joining us live from the streets of L.A. Obviously, updates throughout the day if anything does devolve out in L.A. Relatedly, the question about the National Guard troops, Jessica Levinson is CBS News legal contributor.
Critics of the president are arguing that this is a manufactured situation so that he does have the power to ultimately say, look at all this chaos, that first it was the ICE raids that were highly visible, then it was the response to the protests. It was federalizing the National Guard. Is it next then saying the National Guard will have the power of any federal law enforcement agent?
CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson. In case you missed it, last segment, Deborah told us about the three things that experts say could show that you might have a long, healthy life. One was standing on one foot like a bird, a flamingo for 30 seconds. The other was the pressure of your grip. And the third was if you can get up from a seated position without using your hands or anything for leverage. I went for 2 for 3. I couldn't get up. Did you hear the noises I made, Longoria, though, when I tried to?
Trying?
Yeah, when I was just trying to get up. Apparently, old people noises are a thing, Deborah.
Yeah, if you've ever made those noises when you get up or sit down and you wonder what is causing it, well, part of that is your body's core trying to engage so that you can sit down on the floor without using your hands or stand up or anything. And it gets a little bit harder as we age. Your joints are less mobile, you're breathing less efficiently, so it's just your body slowing down a little bit. But why do we make the noises? That's because we've heard other people do it. Maybe you've seen it on TV, maybe your parents have done it. You don't have to make those noises at all. It's just something that we've kind of learned to do. So that's what we do.
I noticed this not too long ago. I'm starting making the noises my dad makes when he gets off the couch. It's like one, and I was like, wow, I sound just like my dad. I feel better now that that's just a learned behavior.
Yep.
Longoria makes the same sound as his
my
grandfather would make when he was, bending over to type. Oy vey. Interesting. All right. Old person's noises. We got them here. When we come back, I'm going to briefly touch on our top local stories and the things that drive people nuts. Think about what drives you nuts on a day-to-day basis. It's probably traffic. What's going on the Buford Spring Connector, Alex? Do I need an alternate route home?
As of right now, you do, Mark. I can tell you on the Jam Cam, the ramp from the Buford Spring Connector northbound to 85 northbound remains shut down with that inspection and repair of that bridge there. If you're already on the Buford Spring Connector, head up to Cheshire Bridge, Lennox Road, take it right there. You can hop on 85 north or if you're on the connector, just stay on 85 north to make your way up into northeast Atlanta. Also looking at a jam cam right in Sandy Springs, 400 285 interchange. Heavy rain falling there. That's causing for some wet pavement delays on 285 in both directions, as well as Georgia 400, and slow on I-20 east and westbound in the work zone, where it also rained a little earlier between Wesley Chapel and Panola Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
All the notifications you need.
This story developing in Marietta.
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
We're following breaking news in Atlanta.
All in one place.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it today.
Comcast Business is celebrating Small Business Month by giving you a $1,000 small business bonus when you switch to a qualifying gig speed package from the company with over 99.99% network reliability. Just imagine the thousands of possibilities of a $1,000 prepaid card. Like possibility number 1, company merch for staff. Styling. Or possibility number 24, the latest software. Upgrade. Or possibility number 192, new equipment powered by gig speeds. Or possibility number 555, a 3D printer. Rapid prototyping, anyone? Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cybersecurity, and now get started with a $1,000 small business bonus. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
In 6/22/25, new customers only with 2-year agreement. Other restrictions apply.
You know the best part about hot weather is walking into a cool, comfortable house, right? Dave Baker here for Coolray Heating and Cooling. Summer is here. Don't let HVAC problems ruin your fun. Coolray is offering up to $2,250 in rebates and free installation with the purchase of a complete home carrier system. Ready to stay cool this summer? Visit Coolray.com to book your appointment today and keep your home cool and comfortable all summer long. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers, to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
That's you, looking at your garage door. And you're wondering, if it gets windy, just how much can this door take? 20 miles an hour? 30 miles an hour? Sure, if we get a little wind, your buddy says if you back the car up against it just right, you can probably save it. But what's your clever plan the next time we get a storm with a name? At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Storm-rated doors are built to withstand heavy winds, even if your building codes aren't there yet. It's like the door to the safe that protects your whole house. Stronger materials, heavy-duty motors and springs to handle the weight, and reinforced struts to keep it from bowing out in the wind. How do I know it won't bow? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll make sure you're prepared the next time a storm with a name comes sailing across the Gulf of Mo.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. If you're over 50 and tired of your wireless bill getting higher and higher, there are 4 things to consider. 1, how much data are you really using? As we get older, we use less data on our wireless phone, but you're probably still paying for an unlimited plan that was designed for 20-somethings. 2, if you see Get a Phone on Us, Get your sneakers out and run the other way. No one is giving you a free phone. You are paying for that phone over time with an overpriced rate plan and a long-term commitment. 3, check the fine print on that $15 a month plan. It's probably an intro price that'll double or triple later. You might even have to pay for several months of service up front. Number 4, be aware of cable company wireless plans. Most of your usage will be on Wi-Fi instead of 5G, and your calls and battery life could suffer. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide service without the big wireless bill. Our plans start at just $20 a month.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
I had the craziest dream last night about a girl who was turned into a swan. But her prince falls for the wrong girl, and she kills herself.
Happy 44th birthday to one of my favorite actresses, Natalie Portman. I'm only 7 years older than Natalie Portman? That doesn't seem right. She's 44?
Yeah.
All right. I love her. Happy birthday, Natalie Portman. All right, Deborah, I tease this. Things that drive people nuts. I'm assuming I'm going to tick off a lot of these on this list.
All right, well, this is my favorite one that starts it off. 46% of people say they hate when they see their nemesis in public. It just ruins their day. I think we all can relate to that one person that just drives us crazy.
The person, the dude that doesn't say hi in the hall to anybody. The president could walk by and he wouldn't say hi. That guy?
Something like that.
I wouldn't call him my nemesis, but it doesn't make my day to see him.
Something along that line, right? How about a knock on your front door when you're not prepared for guests and you don't know who's coming over? That drives people crazy.
You go back to 1983 and you jump up, oh, who's here? And now in 2025, you're like, what the? Who's knocking on the door?
Everybody quiet.
Yeah, that's nuts. Okay.
People being loud or talking when you just want it to be quiet. So, like, if you're in a place maybe in public and people are just being too loud and you're hoping for a little bit of silence, that drives people insane.
That drives my wife insane.
Yeah.
She'll just be like, stop saying things to me. When I talk, she's like, Mark, stop saying things. All right, what else?
This is a big one for me. Wi-Fi lag. When you're trying to connect to something or if you're trying to log into something and you get that spinning wheel or restart your computer. That's every day.
By the way, breaking news, Deborah. I'm sorry to interrupt.
You didn't have to log in.
Not once today did I have to get a push notification to log into my... I hope I didn't just jinx it. But I guess the IT department heard me bitching and moaning about it.
They gave them to me. I got 5 of them this morning.
Did you? All right. It's like measles. It's just spreading. I wasn't vaccinated, and I just gave it to you, Longoria. I'm sorry. One more, Deborah, on the things that people that drive people nuts list.
All right, you can connect to this one. Loud chewing.
Oh, the worst. But it's more severe for me because I suffer from misophonia. But I've paid people $20 to stop chewing ice near me. Don't get any ideas, Vin. I'm not giving you $20 to stop chewing ice.
Every day.
Yeah, things that drive people nuts.
Longoria's fact of the day.
All right, I don't think this fact of the day drives anybody nuts today. Today's Donald Duck's day, and Donald Duck has a middle name. Did you know that?
No, what is it?
Fauntleroy.
What?
Yeah, Fauntleroy.
Fauntleroy.
Donald Fauntleroy Duck.
All right, I've got some Donald Duck audio, Longoria, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
91 years ago today, Walt Disney released its first cartoon featuring Donald Duck that was called The Little Wise Hen. He's beloved, right? No one dislikes Donald Duck?
Oh, no.
I like
or is
Donald.
it Daffy? Which duck is more beloved, Donald or Daffy?
I think Donald.
Droopy Duck?
Droopy Duck.
Peking
Droopy
duck
Dog is the thing.
Peking duck's my favorite. Freaking delicious. All right. So happy 91st birthday to Donald Duck.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Aram star of the show?
All right. John Baird joined us live from the mean streets of L.A., literally from KNX News. He gets a star of the show. Great stuff, as always, by Eric Erickson, talking politics, reaction to the L.A. protest. Eric's going to be joining you in just a couple of minutes, noon to 3. Laura Davidson from Bloomberg News. Stacey Lynn from CBS News joined us from L.A. And I want to give all of us a star of the show, but I think this person went above and beyond today to get a star of the show of the Core Four. That's what we are, the Core Four. Vinny woke up and chose violence and decided to say that Alex Williams was the worst athlete at WSB Radio. Alex is like the most mild-mannered dude. He's Clark Kent. he heard Vinny say that Alex was the worst athlete at WSB Radio. I have never seen him so fired up. Like, Alex was mad.
He was more mad than I was mad when I found
yes,
out.
when you find out. Yeah, so Vinny chose violence today, Vinny. I'm going to give you a star of the show for that. I've never seen Alex get a rise out of that. The only other time was when Jim Ayers finished all the food in the newsroom before Alex could get here.
Oh, well.
But even then, he just simmered. He didn't say anything. Alex was heated. Little guy was heated today.
Put me in a chokehold.
Yeah. Good job, Vin. Good job. All right, big show tomorrow. Obviously, we're going to update the riots in L.A., what's the latest on the budget bill, and anything big popping locally. Social medias are active. I kind of took a pause this weekend, but I'm back up and running. So hit me up, Instagram, Twitter, Bluesky, wherever you have the socials. It's at Mark Arum, MarkArum. Stay safe. Have a great Monday, Atlanta.
To a simpler place and time. Oh, yes, he is. Now be with him. I know you will. On that midnight train to Georgia. Leaving on that midnight train.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
WSB consumer expert Clark Howard, sponsored by Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electrical.
By now, you've probably heard about the 8-year-old who ordered 70,000 Dum-Dums on Amazon at a cost of $4,200. When you give your kids access to your cell phone, they work their way around there. Any app that you can purchase things on, you need to have password protected within your phone so that your child can't order who knows what, and then you get stuck with it. It's really dumb to get stuck.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years with fast local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rate.